Hello and welcome back to ESA Cup. I'm Teeny. I'm joined by Nash. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm just enjoying life at the moment. How's it going with you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm excited for the games that we have in store today, and I think they're going to be some very interesting ones. We've got the Entropy Gaming versus Pulsar first, Pulsar Legacy, and then we've got our second game, Ryuga versus Silence, and then we've got I can't even say this, Les Ballistes versus AGM later tonight. So let's talk about Entropy and Pulsar then. Do you know anything about these teams?
I know a little bit too much about Entropy, and then not majorly enough about Pulsar. Entropy are a team that kind of struggled like very early on a couple seasons ago, and I mean in other leagues as well. They were kind of like not really bringing the numbers in that they really should, because well, Entropy is like relatively prolific in a sense, but also as of like recent ESA Cups, recent other leagues like RSX and things like that, we've been seeing them really shine and like doing a lot. Like they've been one of the biggest powerhouses, so I'm very excited to see them play.
Brilliant. So let's move on then for today to the staff predictions, I believe. Okay, hello. The first game then, Entropy. A lot of people think the Entropy are going to win today. You can see that Muzza, Rowan, Xia, Goatnax, but Stucky thinks that it'll be Pulsar as well as one other. So two, literally just two. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's Pulsar. Again, I bring it up. Like I brought it up last time. Pulsar are a bit of an unknown entity for us. They went 7-4 in their first game against Aero, which were another unknown entity. They lost 7-1 against Aspire, and now they're coming in against Entropy, which is another big test for them, especially considering Aspire is one of the bigger tests in the cup so far. But yeah, like very interested in the way they're going to be trying to bring themselves into this game.
And then, we have the community vote here, which is 86% to 14% in favor of Entropy. And as you can see, it probably does reflect the staff votes there as well, because, wow, there's a lot for Entropy. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what Entropy can do, because I have seen them. I've seen them play a couple of times. But Pulsar, they could definitely be, I don't know, a hidden gem maybe. Let's hope. Let's hope it's going to be a good game. So we're going to jump over to map bans now then to see exactly what we have in this game. The first ban being Chalet, followed by a Night Haven Labs, and then a Skyscraper Clubhouse, Oregon, Consulate, Cafe, and Bank, taking us, Nash, to Border! Love a bit of Border.
Look, man, I would just like to point out Entropy banned Chalet, Entropy banned Sky, Entropy banned Oregon, and Entropy banned Cafe. That's insane. Like,
all the big maps.
Yeah, like
gone.
like 4 of the big 5 just out the window. And then the other one is Club, which was banned by Pulsar. But yeah, as I said, Pulsar, bit of an unknown entity. But on the other side, you've got Entropy. Entropy had a bit of a sloppy showing against E-Wave, to say the least. Both teams didn't really play to their best. But it was an 8-7 loss an 8-7 loss for Entropy, and then the only other game was a forfeit. Where they won.
Wow.
So this is going to be their first real chance at redemption, because they didn't get it last week.
And as we move ourselves into Border, it's going to be an interesting game, and we're going to have a look at the map bans that do move in now. There's Entropy and Pulsar. We'll take it to Border. Border itself being quite not as picked as you'd think. Any opinions on Border?
It's very driven by the way the defenders play it. It's one of those maps where it can be very like controlling and aggressive. So you see things like this Ying played quite often. More than likely, the other attacker ban is going to be something for that roam clear, to try and deal with that. Could even be an OSA, which is one of the more unlikely ones, but has been seen in the past. But it's like, generally speaking, it's the way the defenders play it. They can be very aggressive. You can play the Azami inside of CC. You can play the Azami inside of Workshop. You can play all of these sort of aggressive operators on a roam or on the site, and make them a big slugfest. So more than likely on the defense, we're going to see Fenrir Solace. We always do. If not, it'll be Azami Solace. But yeah, like we're seeing Fenrir go out first. We could see a Valk in favor of the Solace, depending on what type of info they're willing to play with, whether it be sort of the actual utility intel from the drone work or the actual positioning intel. So it depends on what they really want to go for, but it'll be Valk or Solace, and there's Solace off the board.
Solace, lovely.
Easy predictions, but also on this map, you can play very defensively. You can kind of turtle, play around that fountain area on the top floor if you're really feeling ballsy.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of mirror castle, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like play and you expand into the hallway and then you kind of got that escape onto 90s if you need it. But yeah, you can see here now the mirror Azami were my Caden Frost being on the lineup to start off with. So pretty much everything you've just said is going to be into effect as we move into the preparation phase. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how we do set up. But yeah, pretty standard, I'd say, with that mirror coming in.
This is going to be aggressive. We're looking at an operator lineup. Frost is one of those operators, very much like Jaeger, passive utility. You place it down, you leave it, you're just a gun. That's pretty much like how that operator is going to be played. And then you've got aggressive operators that are more active utility, like the Wamai and the Azami. They regenerate their utility over time. So the Cade is going to be used as like a turret on site, essentially. More than likely, the Wamai or the Azami is going to be, or even the Frost actually, is going to be around the office to play that mirror window that we just saw being placed down there on the cubby wall. And then we're going to have the Azami, by the looks of things, inside of CC. So it's one of those where we see probably a bit more of an aggressive style of play from these defenders, and I think it's going to come down to this very sort of like heavy gunplay type of map here in map 1. So
yeah, you can see that everything has been opened up, all the lines of sight, literally all the way across the map just opened up. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what we're going to go for here for the attack and how they're going to be able to counter this as we do start to push in through the east and possibly the 2 balconies. A bit of damage coming onto Ash already. Will go down and falls to Alpha as Entropy find up with the opening kill here. Already between the first 30 seconds pretty much of action phase.
Yeah, there's the aggression I was talking about. Wamai swinging onto that door, just wanted to take the engagement as early as possible. They've spotted out this rotate on the wall, and they're going to be just trying to poke and prod through the holes and see if they can actually just catch out a player or any sort of individual that's going to be around that area. Cade gets down, but not going to be dealt with just yet. Wamai takes a bit of damage and just decides to fall off his angle. Instead, comes back for the swing, gets injured and finished, as we are going to be looking at these attackers equalizing the man count, ready to take themselves a bit further forward into this round.
Ooh. Phantom gonna find one, finds 2! A 3 versus 1 here as Entropy leading with the man advantage, and Gridlock has to do a lot to try and find these picks, slowly inching away to the back of the A side. Can he find the pick is the question? Yes, he can. An easy one for him, looking for a second. Takes a lot of damage in the swing, and now can he find this Frost, who's just sat in that fountain Azami, just moving around now just to try and reposition and watch that pinch. One going to drop back as well and just looks for the rotate. There's another! And he's perfectly just sat behind the bomb. Blocked off, though, by the Azami concrete here.
Indeed, to keep a barricade in his way. He's going to be trying to take a swing onto the window. A perfect little one-tap from the ACS-12. It's going to be Azami to finish off that kill and take the round. So we're looking at the moment at a very aggressive style of play that could very well switch on its head.
100%.
With how that round went. The aggression didn't really seem to work in towards the later round as much as it did early. The opening frag did go Entropy's way, and so did the round, but it was still very, very dicey in that mid-round.
100%. And now as we move through, you can just see like the positioning from Mirror, just on and off position. Didn't expect to get swung either, and there you go. That's the round out. Azami used the Kima barriers to just block off and trying to take that gunfight very tactically. But what do you expect now? I mean, obviously we said quite an aggressive play, but will we be able to see any rounds come from Pulsar now? I'm hoping so.
Realistically, they played that very, very well. Entropy's a team that isn't a slouch. They aren't a team that's going to be, you know, sitting back, letting them take a few rounds here and there, like try and, you know, feel them out towards the earlier portion of the round. Instead, they're going to be firing on all cylinders all the way through, and they are a very good team at doing that. You see them playing aggressive and confidently, and I would have said like the damage that the Frost did to the gridlock could have been like the determining factor of the round, but realistically, an ACS-12 bullet to the head, any bullet to the head in Siege is instant death.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it wasn't really predetermined by that, and it all came down to that 1v1 at the end. So I think it's like we very much could be seeing a pretty reformed style of play from the side of Pulsar. They're playing very G2-esque with a lot of caution on this attack, and well, there's an opening frag that goes their way this time. Let's see if they can find the translation, just like Entropy did previous.
And we are seeing that the IQ is being ran as well, just to try and counter all of these Valkyrie cams. But a C4 says no to Tim, as Ash gets pretty much refragged for his opening kill there. And shots fired here into the opposite side. Can we find the pick? We can. Deba will find one. Now 3 versus 4. Entropy losing numbers here to this attack. And shots fired to the armory side. He's got the shield to just sit behind for Husky, but he's got to be very careful. He is playing aggressive onto that fountain, but he will find one. 3 versus 3, and a good pick for him as Duet gets another. And there we go. Husky, one more to follow that. Now in a 1v3, similar to the previous round, we'll see Ace try and find one. He'll be taken down. Duet finishing off the round.
Indeed, and I mean, just seeing that from the side of Pulsar is like extremely disheartening. But they can't be sort of pushed down by it yet. At the end of the day, we're in this sort of defender meta where we are seeing these defenders kind of dominate these rounds, and you know, you have to actively take their position. So it's like you can't really chalk it down to Pulsar just being bad or Entropy just being good. And I think that we will be seeing a bit of a shift in momentum, especially coming into these rounds now. They've had a chance to feel out a couple of the sites on this round rotation, and realistically, as a tertiary, it should be the site that, well, Pulsar are able to actually pull something out of the bag on.
100%. We can see that they are prepping to probably take upstairs again, as we do have that book of cycling on the board, as well as an Ash, an Ace, an Osa, and a Flores to come into play. I'm liking the Flores pick because it's a little bit different, and it does help to clear out as much utility as possible, especially some of those Banshees brought in by the Malusi. And of course, it's interesting to see that they are still going to be running the Valkyrie, but IQ's been cycled off instead. So maybe that could be an issue, especially if we're trying to take up top floor. But we'll see.
I will say I'm not a massive fan of the Sosa pick. Simply because it's a very ranked play. More than likely, I'm going to try and read into the side of Pulsar here. More than likely what they're going to do is they're going to play the Osa on main door. They're going to put the Osa shield on the storage window. And then have one towards main entrance. And they're literally just going to sit there and try and play gunfights on the main entrance as the Osa. And I think that, yeah, that very well could work. But I mean, you've still got 2 impacts. You've got 2 C4s on the side of the defense, and if they want to try and enter and they get caught by a Malusi gadget, that really messes with your shield. Once again, an opening frag going the way of the offense of Pulsar, and they nearly find another onto the Ramai inside of the inside of the mini office, but he does get caught in the end. Phantom going to be coming in to try and get the refrag onto a player that is going to be inside of here, finds the Ash, but is he going to be able to find the second? Not quite just yet.
He does! Phantom! 3 versus 3 as he does just find it. What a good pick there. He's just in a good position. They don't really know. They've managed to get 2 good entries, obviously, here. But, yeah, the refrags are in. And now just kind of working out what they're going to do. They haven't really took control too much upstairs, have they? They've still got... yeah, Yeah, we're still on metal stairs side here. Just some pings coming in through the floor. As they are now upstairs, we're coming down to metal. And looking to try and execute onto site now.
Some of these floor bangs are quite close, by the way. Like, I'm genuinely a bit worried about, like, the health of these attackers, because that was scarily close twice on Twitch there. We are seeing the ESA, once again, just sitting outside the main door. As I said, like, she's literally going to do nothing for the entire round until they're ready to take the plant, and then she's just going to hop in the vents window or move a shield up through the main entrance area and try and get on the vents door. And that is going to be, like, their entire plan. And now they know there's an ESA on the board. They know that, and they know where the ESA is. They can assume she's got the diffuser, and they know exactly what they're going for. So they're able to read into it as a defense. And I think that's where the big blunder is for the attackers. Now the ESA's going to make a move, finds a kill early on, gets the Melusi gadget, the Banshee, inside of this room. And, well, they're just going to be going for the plant on the hard wall.
Seems to be working here. The plant now going down. A 3 versus 2 is watching to get one through the window. There's the backstab for Phantom. Now they've got to work their way through sight and just try and take someone out. One playing outside of the window and one playing upstairs on vertical. Now, both of them going to push upstairs to take this gunfight. If one falls, the other should theoretically get that refrag as Diva is getting pings. There it is. There's a quad for Phantom. Oh, God. I mean, this is such a good position if, you know, this defense can, of course, try and bait this ESA in, as they're still up. There's one now coming down. Can we find the pick is the question. Just playing close in this window to try and bait him in. There it is. They've got him. And the defuse coming off to finish off the round.
That was incredibly well played from Entropy. A 4K for Phantom to just absolutely dismantle the entire side of Pulsar, and realistically I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pause here from Pulsar, because being able to find the opening frags that consistently and having that dominant position inside of customs, just to then lose it out by like some Melusi just walking through and killing you, like while you're on an angle that's supposed to be watching where she's coming from, is insane.
100%. I'd say probably now, yeah, as you say, like a pause would be good. 3-0 is probably the best time. We see that a lot of teams do like to do like a 3-1, 3-0 pause. But we are going to move our way through into this round. Now going back up to the top floor, bringing in pretty much a similar lineup apart from Wamai for a Jaeger. We're going to stick this Valkyrie, Wamai also on the board, sorry, and a Mute and a Mirror to play. I mean, we saw that the last time that the attack, of course, proceeded, it took a lot of gunfights early on. Let's hope that this time that they can get a bit more control. We can see that they will open up all these soft walls again if they do go for it. I'm not too sure.
This is such a ranked mirror play.
Yeah.
They're just gonna put the mirror on the armory wall and then play like the angles into CC.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't like this, but they're going for it, and it does work if the team's not ready to deal with it, but realistically there's a Flores on the board.
I feel like this is very easy to just push into, though. Like, it's very inviting. Yeah. You've got the Flores, obviously.
They've got the soft breach to be able to open the soft wall next to the mirror window, and then they've got the ash charges to be able to actually deal with the mirror window itself. So, as they've got the crossfire, the mirror goes for the swing with the C4, gets caught out by a bullet, and now we're in a position where this guy's kind of out of buzz, like could have been swung there while shooting the drones, but obviously it's not a huge blunder, as they are going to be looking to get a little bit more aggressive towards this soft wall, get themselves ready to open it up and, you know, go for a plan. But it is going to be Affler to fall next.
Ooh. 3 versus 5, just caught downstairs. That's not good for him, as well, the man advantage is definitely in favor of this attack. Ash taking some damage from Metal, as just trying to hunt slowly for this Valkyrie. And here we go. Jaeger going to take some damage as he's come right next to the mirror. What's going on there? Entropy going to find one. There's another refrag coming straight away. It will be duets from far inside of break to find one more. There's a pre-fire onto the metal detectors. 1 versus 2. Plank going down. And just sat outside of the breach here. It's just going to be very, very hard to clutch up here.
It's going to be very hard. Both players outside of the wall needs to try and get a gunfight with at least one of them. Doesn't have the C4 in pocket. It's going to be trying to take the swing around. Nearly finds one through the wall, knows he's going to be close to that CC door or armory door, isn't able to actually find it, and instead it's going to be Timiak to secure the first round of Pulsar.
I mean, so aggressive for no reason. Like, even Jaeger pushing back up to the mirror. He's just trying to find an easy pick, right? But he's just punishing himself by doing that. They've all locked down. They're all watching that mirror. They're all waiting to push in straight through breach as well. But yeah, we see. I don't know. It's just it wasn't a very good play from Entropy just to put that mirror on the main wall. I don't think.
Yeah. Fun little statistic for you. Entropy have only found one opening kill.
Wow. Okay. They're
currently 3-1 up. So
maybe they're not as good as getting those first picks. Probably just because they hold out late game. They are quite aggressive, and that's probably what shuts them down, right? The attack's ready for that aggressive play. They manage to get the first entry, and then from there, they're able to just tear down that attack a little bit more with the information they gain throughout the map. That's what I'm assuming, just because that's apt. But
I agree. I think they're much more comfortable with taking engagements on players that, you know, like, are already in the building, are already trying to take power positions. Like, they're much better at taking aggressive plays onto the power positions, rather than, you know, like, players that are playing outside the building on off angles or on a breach that they've just made to try and enter and things like that. So I think that that's probably where there's a bit of a struggle. We do see a Monty on side for the attack of Pulsar, and something that I would like to touch on is something that Pengu said literally the other day, that he's been saying for a while, and I do agree with. Order can be played a lot like Sky.
Okay.
As an attacking team. There's a lot of narrow corridors, there's a lot of very boxy rooms that you can just walk a Monty into. And then you've got, like, considerable amounts of control inside of that room. You see this as Army that's just kind of stuck in this corner now and has to try and take the engagement against the Monty, because if she doesn't, she gets absolutely bulldozed by somebody on a window. So
entry fragging Monty.
Yeah, she's now in this position where she has to take that engagement. This mirror's kind of owned if she isn't very careful. And, well, Monty now knows that she's going to be around that area. C4 goes out, deals some damage,
Finally
gets the injure, but isn't able to actually secure the frag yet.
Well, a 2 versus 3, make it a 1 versus 3 as the Monty is downed. And Husky has to do a lot here, but he's going to get pinched possibly through the fountain way. They're just going round and round in circles. Ping's coming in, though. There's a lot of information to try and gather. Monty is now revived as well, which there's one. 1 minute 30 on the clock as well. Plant going to go down with the Monty. There's the crossfire, though. As Ash will just pick up. And there it is.
Yeah, beautifully played by Hypesy there. Manages to find a nice little angle. I'll probably say with 90% certainty that wasn't communicated between the Buck and the Ash. And it was just kind of like right place, right time. And it's very good that you've got that sort of mental synergy. And I think being able to win twice in a row on a primary site where, yeah, it came down to a 1v1 the first time, but it's like being able to win twice in a row is going to really give you a big momentum shift, as I referred to earlier on. And this is where you've got the side of Entropy starting to panic. They're like, oh, they've seen through our site rotation, clearly. They've managed to win our most comfortable site twice in a row, and now we're going to, now we have to go to a site that we haven't played yet. We've probably practiced quite a lot in scrims. We've probably played before against other teams, but we have to go to this site because if we go to Workshop, we risk them seeing through it again.
Right. And as we move now,
that's the position we're in.
I mean, yeah, I kind of get that. Like, it is quite limiting as well now. The Entropy, they're going to keep doing this quite a similar thing. You can see the lineup's not really changing. They were going to a different bomb site, clearly, but now the attack, hopefully, will start to bring more of a game. I'm looking for a 3-3 split here. You know, this is kind of like a big round now. If, you know, we can see this round come in, going into roll swap, it's going to be massive. Let's just hope, well, we can see a bit of a better game on the defense as well from Pulsar Legacy. As we do start to set up these OSA shields and bring in OSA again. I mean, will it be that impactful again upstairs? We saw that trying to get that plant with the OSA downstairs in the vents wasn't very successful. Obviously, we got the plant down, but they couldn't take the gunfights with the ESA. But we're going to bring it back here, and we've got a mirror to suit with. There's a pick straight away from Diba as Phantom goes down. A 4 versus 5 already, and once again, entry frag is on the side of Pulsar Legacy.
Well, the problem with a lot of OSA players, and a lot of OSA play inside of competitive, is the fact that OSA is played in a very 2D style by a lot of players and by a lot of teams. But she can be quite versatile. She can be moved around, played in multiple different locations. Like, for example, they've got the shield upstairs, they've got the shield downstairs, they've got the cover on the shield. Obviously, they do lose the man, but now they're going to be going for it again as they try and run through onto the plant, but there is going to be a crossfire over from Armory. 3 kills going the way of Entropy. Also, suddenly, Jugozi going to be just running away, giving himself some time, and probably going to be just talking to his team for a little bit before actually trying to get himself in and take these engagements.
And wow, what a man disadvantage. 2 versus 1 as Jug will find Husky. 1 minute 20 on the clock. It's winnable, but he's got to do a lot to make sure he can get this round through. If he does, we'll go 3-3 on the roll swap. However, well, we've got a lot of information from these vault cams still, and I can just assume that because I know they haven't took much control. They haven't really got utility gone because they've just tried to push their way through site, right? So here we go. Just the drones coming in now. The information gathering is important to see if we can catch one of these defenders lacking. And Diffuser is inside of the bomb as well.
Well, she knows where one is. The other one's a bit of an unknown entity. She has to get herself down onto the ground floor, and she has to take one of these engagements. She has to isolate a 1v1 inside of the site if she's going to be able to win this whatsoever. The head holes on the angle through onto the breach is going to be the determining factor for these defenders in order to get themselves a 4-2 split. This is not the scoreline I was expecting coming into an 86% favoured Entropy.
Yeah, I mean, we'd assume that we'd see more of a dominant game. I'd say a lot of rounds have been fairly close when we got them down, but again, some of these starting rounds, 3 versus 1, we saw 2 3 versus 1 rounds towards the end, and that's where I think, Pulsar have lost out on, I reckon. Like, those early rounds, they've definitely lost out on. Yeah, I'd say 100%. Entropy should probably be 5-1 up right now, if they've played some of these rounds a lot differently.
Well, I think this is the kind of game where we see an upset that puts the team we expect to make it through this phase into the face of relegation. And
I hope so. I love games like that.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal for this early in the tournament. We have a couple teams that maybe we didn't quite expect to be as low as they are currently. But for Entropy to join them is a bit absurd. So we'll have to see where this goes. We'll have to see what they can do. But at the moment, defense looks pretty much the same. Well, I say the same. It's the same operators for the different site, as they are going to be choosing to play slightly differently for the way that, well, Entropy decided to play it themselves. They didn't quite have the protection that Entropy had on that mirror window in order to keep it safe for longer, and it is going to get destroyed pretty much straight away. Speaking of Entropy, they managed to get their second entry frag of this game, and bring themselves a bit further into this matchup.
For me, that mirror is so rent-free. Like, oh, there's a pick. Jug gonna get 1. There's a second coming in. But it will be Alpha to get Jug off the board. A nice little refrag there, as it's a 4 versus 3. Shots fired onto the 90s. And there's a flank. Pretty good there as Duet is caught lacking. No clue to where. There's a 1 for the run out. What is going on? Oh my god. Hype gonna get another from 90s. God. He's just managed to flick on and get that pick. And it's a 1 versus 3 as Husky on the balconies outside has got a lot to do for Entropy right now. As he rotates the east side stairs, looking to possibly catch someone. There's 1. Mirror will fall. 1 versus 2. 1 inside of Fountain. Not too sure exactly where the other one is. Yeah, they're doubling up here. So one's got to watch that 90s. The other one's watching the Fountain way. But yeah, I mean, already to see such a massive man loss on the side of Entropy right now.
Many clutches in this game so far. She's about to pick the rotate. Use the man on the doorway, manages to find it. 10-4 right now for Husky as he's about to take the final engagement. Final player, Timmy, are going to be standing around on this fountain. He drops down. They know each other's location, and Ike wants to take the swing. She knows he's there. He wants Malusi to move. The engagement goes underway, and it's going to be Timia to find it. The triple kill from Hypesy doesn't go unappreciated, and that is going to be the round for the side of Pulsar. What an insane round. We've seen like 4 or 5 watches this round, this game, where they've been like pretty down to the wire, pretty close.
I mean, if you want clips for this game, Jesus Christ, there's loads. But yeah.
Good.
Wow. I mean, look at this flank as well. You can see just no one knew who was there, no information, and that's pretty much half of it gone. And a nice little pick there onto the 90s as well, just to finish off. You know, Mirror's just running around the map getting kills. It's insane.
Yes, kind of absurd. Like a 1-speed, like on the prowl. Speaking of which, 3 1-speeds left alive as the final 3 on the side of Pulsar. You've got the Mute, you've got the Malusi, and you have the Mirror. The Valkyrie and the Frost, who are both 2 speeds, were the 2 to lose their lives first. Which is a little scary, especially when they're probably going to be your primary roamers, because, you know, they're your 2 speeds. So you kind of want to be a bit more careful on the roam, be a bit more conservative, ready to preserve your life, because something I say a lot is just the fact that in Siege, it is so unbelievably important to stay alive into the late round, even as a roamer. Like, if you're constantly taking engagements, maybe you're dying in the first minute. Yes, you're getting like a kill or a trade or maybe even 2 kills for your life. It's like if you're alive as a defender at the end of the round, so like 5v5 last minute. It's such a bloodbath and so scary for an attacking team to really try and take an engagement against you, pretty much no matter where you are.
Absolutely. I mean, we're already going to see now one of the defenders falling as you were talking about that. And now, a 5 versus 4. Entropy looking to take that mirror. They've destroyed it with the Ash charge, so nice and quick to get that gone. We'll find a couple of outcomes as well in the process. 2 minutes on the clock, and we've got a couple of defenders off-site, but just about missing that. Tim could have had a great clip on his hands. Duet taking some damage above, and the C4 will be ripped as he will now rotate off, but gets caught rotating by Duet as now Diva goes down, and it will be Clock to take off some damage as Ace will get a lot of damage there as Husky will find the pick there as well. And now we have the Mirror downstairs onto Workshop here.
Well, they've decided Force is the answer, and it's not. But they've decided, and while the attackers are all in sight, they've managed to get themselves pretty well, not in sight, but they're above the site, getting themselves pretty much complete control of the verticality, getting themselves through onto the stairs. Echo's still going to be hiding underneath that table. Glocko running around inside of Customs to see if they can try and find an enemy player. And I think these positions are pretty good from these defenders. They've just got to be relatively aware of when and where the plant's going to be going down, as well. IQ seems to be already positioning herself above the hatch.
And this is key information for IQ as well, to see where when Echo goes on the drone and where it is, as Mirror is stuck right now and can't find a lot of work here. But can Echo find a pick here? Probably not. Slowly inching away from the desk. We'll find one. Gets refragged, and that's Alpha. Finish off the round. I didn't know what I was looking at then.
It's a bit unfortunate for the defenders, but it's that sort of style of play. They know they're able to pick apart these roamers. Obviously, the Mirror going on the late roam has kind of ruined them a little bit both times. But they know they're able to pick apart these primary roamers. So what they're doing is they're just doing it faster. And the moment you start to see a team get the ball rolling, that's when it becomes a little scary. Especially when you know exactly what they're doing. You're losing your 2 primary roamers on the defense constantly. You need to play more conservative. Jugo has been the opening frag for most of these rounds. That Entropy has found it. And, well, we're going to be seeing the side of Entropy not run away with it, but get themselves a little bit closer, 1 round away now from being at that 6-point match point mark. So we're going to be seeing how they decide to play it coming into this round. Maybe they play it the same, maybe they play it differently, but they do want to bring the same lineup.
We are going to see the Legion on the board, and I like Legion just because of how lethal it can be later on, and talking about that survival of the rounds. Keeping Legion will become more lethal over time, dropping all of its Lagoon mines on the floor, and we'll see exactly how that will benefit the defense. However, Phantom is bringing in a blitz here. Cavalry has arrived. We're also going to see a Thinker and a Ram on the board, straight in to the site. We'll find the Banshee plank going down. Defense has no clue. One will drop hatch, but shots fired here. Through the floor as well up above. We'll try and find one. There's one going down. Be the Legion to fall. A 3v4.
They didn't get the plant.
As vertical. What's going on?
It was almost such a good play, but they didn't manage to find the plant. The plant was so close to going down, but Bessie gets found through the vertical angles, and now we're going to be seeing a bit more of a, well, questionable take from these attackers. We don't actually quite know what they're doing, and it's going to be very scary. That we're watching the Thinker now has to go in, take this 1 versus 3. She's found one in the 1 versus 4 as it was, but we now have to see her take 3 more. Timer running down as we are going to be seeing her get a bit closer. Finds one, needs to find another on this upstairs before then taking it down onto the site. Peeks over the angle. The Frost peeks over the shield, and that is going to be a bullet inside of Thinker's cranium, ending the round and bringing, well, the side of Pulsar to this 5-4 scoreline.
Wow. I mean, just a full send into sight, right? It's, if in doubt, get into sight, because that's what just happens. You can see just the plant that goes down in the right time. Just mere seconds before that plant gets fully stuck. And unfortunately, that attack just didn't work. And I mean, Entropy now in a bit of a position where they're kind of only one real round behind now. Sorry, ahead.
I will just say, Nanos, don't make me call you out on stream. Don't make me do it. I see what you're doing. Yeah, we're 5-4 currently in favor of the side of Entropy, and yeah, it's a little closer than people might have expected. As potentially we could be seeing our first overtime of the day inside of match 1.
I mean, I'm hoping so, because overtime's the best, right? Like, everyone with overtime. I'm a very, very big person on getting these rounds to overtime. I just love it. It's the best part of casting, when the game is so close. But yes, we are now going to go all the way upstairs with our setup, and it's going to be a mute mirror with my Melusi and a Frost setup as pretty much standard. The Frost moving into this lineup more and more often. I quite like the Frost to be on the board. Provides a good bit of utility. The shield. There's a pick though through the floor as Afla uses the verticality already pre-established from the mute. Damn, an early pick.
Yeah, they know these aggressive engagements are working for them. They've got 3 players in the double digits for kills right now, and they are going to be looking to make that even worse. The Melusi going to be hovering around on top east. There is going to be a player nearby, and she is making a lot of noise right now, just moving around quite a lot. Potentially could get caught out, but also could be the one to equalise this man count in the end, and that she does. She managed to find the buck, and that's going to be a really nice pick as well. That's one of your players in those triple digits. Glocker now down below. It has been the man to equalise a couple of times. Is he going to be the man to be able to, well, do a bit more?
And we certainly hope so, but Legion in a good position. Oh, sorry, Mirror, just to find one. Oh my god. Can we find a second? No, we can't. Refrag coming in. It will be a brilliant pick there from the Ash. Shots fired onto the Frost. Frost in a good position now just to drop back. It will be the Glock to take out one.
Just do that bit more than I was referring to. The IQ trying to take in long angle engagement with that ACOG against the Frost, who also has the same. Does manage to find it in the end, and it did look like Gridlock got a little one tap there, but she didn't. As now we're going to be looking at Well, a bit more of a stalemate once again. 2v2, as I said, that's just as harrowing as that 5v5. You've got equal men alive. You have to be able to take these positions, and you have to isolate where these players are. The only thing that's slightly easier is being able to, you know, monitor these players, keep track of where they are, keep track of where they're going, and get yourself into a much better position.
As we move through break now, looking onto 90s, we're trying to find our way into this site. And basically just holding these angles to try and establish exactly where they are. No information for the gridlock, no cams to move around, they're both destroyed. 32 seconds, and it's really, it's up to IQ to try and find this information for them. Default cams is going to be destroyed there as well. 25 seconds on the clock, and they've got to do something. Track stingers going in between the metal detectors. And slowly, IQ pushing round, and we find this pig. There's one! Looking for a second, and to get into sight with that defuse. There it is, Husky, to find the final pick of the round, and just about to win it out for them.
Now that puts Entropy on match point. Only one more round stands between them and moving forward in this Swiss stage, and putting the side of Pulsar in the face of relegation. They are going to be looking to try and get that redemption arc from their 8-7 loss against E-Wave, and see if they can staple themselves as one of the more formidable teams in the tournament this early on. So with the way they're playing right now, we expect to see another slugfest a bit close from these teams, and well, we hope to see it go all the way. We hope to see a couple rounds here of Pulsar really starting to shine.
I mean, we've already seen what they can do once they get the ball rolling, but it seems they've slowed down a little bit now, and maybe it was Entropy that made the mistake of making a few rounds of a rush. Maybe they haven't played the game as strong as they could be, but now I think if they can just continue at the same pace, Entropy would definitely take this final round here. But it's up to Pulsar now. The pressure's on them to make this game interesting. All the pressure on you, Pulsar.
10 seconds.
Indeed it is, but also the pressure is kind of on Entropy as well. It's with it being as close as it is, it's only 2 rounds before we have to go to the fabled overtime, and well, it's one of those where it can be quite scary for these teams, and it can be kind of annoying, especially when you end up in this position where, well, you're losing out to silly stuff.
100%, yeah. I can count quite a lot of these rounds where there's been some silly stuff, but as we move in now at the bottom of medal, Buck is just looking to possibly put some pressure on from below, and the pings are coming in, and we might see some of these defenders trying to repeat, but the shots through the floor. It will be Wamai just about escaping from that one after taking nearly half damage, and the defense now just recouping themselves into sights. Ash trying to find that mirror, will do so and will be shattered. Most of these mirrors upstairs just going to get instantly removed early round, which is what that Ash's job is essentially for. Husky to go down to a frost map, but no one there to counteract on that. Tim will find Duet, or maybe not, will find it as well, and it won't be Husky getting up anytime soon. 1 minute 51 on the clock.
Look at these 3 players of Entropy now, and well, Messi's really got to pick up the pieces that they haven't been so far, and that's going to be 2 on the board for this round. Very, very well played. Maybe going to find a 3rd through the wall with 1 bullet. Oh my god, my voice broke on that, but that was very, very nice from him. The man of the hour, bringing himself into this round, really showing what one player at the bottom of the table for the side of Entropy can be worth in these dying moments.
And nearly only a minute to go. There's Glock and Deba have to defend this site. Pings and information coming in. This attack, we can see when there's 2 of them together, they can work it well. And you can see just trying to hold these angles. Going to open up the back wall of office as well to try and get quick entry into the bomb sites. It will be Alpha just to watch anyone trying to rotate through. We can see Deba playing below. Can he find a C4 is the question onto a potential planting. I mean, do they know is the question.
I know he's below, but it's going to be the default plan to go out. C4 flies through, manages to get the injure, and that's going to be so detrimental for this side of
Pulsar. They need to be able to find the kill onto this final remaining player, but it is going to be a 1v1.
Here we go, 19 seconds left. Alpha will deploy the drone. The bomb
15
is
seconds left.
inside of the site. 13 seconds. Glock is going to have to play this very, very carefully. But the kill is definitely what the option should be here. And just about missing out as Buck just falls. Glock, what a great pick from him.
That was very almost a whiff. Oh my goodness. But we did see the side of Pulsar pull it out of the bag there. Beautiful from them in the early round. But beautiful from Bessie in the mid round. What a play!
I mean, yeah, looking at that. Just finds one. Gets shot through the back, so crouches. Random. Finds the pick. And then, I mean, doesn't know where the player is in break. Will find a wall bang.
Oh,
like, oh
what
my god.
What?
Clip it.
Sorry.
It was-
That's crazy.
Bombs if they can.
Okay, as I mean, we go downstairs now into vents. I mean, what else do you expect this at this point? Like Entropy, so close on every round here on these final executions, just couldn't get this one in the bag, and that does put pressure on them. Takes a little bit off of Pulsar, but they still need one round to go 6-6. And honestly, do you reckon it will go to OT?
I really hope so. We're seeing such strong plays from both sides right now. We have
10
three
seconds
players.
to insert.
Like if this goes to OT, it can pretty much like prove the point of like
5 seconds left.
what do you call it?
before
The
insertion.
kill count on like individual players. Like they've got 3 players on the side of
Attackers are
Entropy right now
moving
that are in
to the bomb.
double digits. And
Wow.
they're only like 4 away on the other 2. I think it's Afla and Bessie that aren't double digits right now, if I remember correctly. Oh no, it's Bessie and Phantom. So it's like they're only 4 away on the other 2. That realistically could just be 1 round, but it is going to be Afla to find the first. If we see overtime come into play, it really doesn't matter for these individual players. It's the spread. Look at how consistent it is along the side of Pulsar. Look at how close everybody is to each other. And then on the opposite side, you have Entropy. You have 3 players on 10 and 2 players that are 6 and 9.
I think off of that as well, like, although the game is a team game, if you can't get these frags, it will definitely hinder. And you can see now an opening pick onto Timmy, and then a frag coming onto Entropy's side. We Afla to die. The Ash off the board. We don't have a mirror on the board, so not as much on the utility. But there's another coming in. Bessie
Yeah,
gonna
more-
go down.
More the point I'm making is you lose these high potential, high fragging players, and you're left with 2 people that are 6 and 9, aren't really performing. Maybe it's not their day, and you're in a crazy situation. This is a quad kill for Hypesy here, and Phantom's going to be the last man standing inside of office. How are we going to be denied yet another ace? It is going to be Frost to fall.
I mean, they know exactly where he is now. Like, they've been called out. The def has called him out. And we might just see a possible pick coming in soon. I mean, I'd love to see... Is he on for an ace?
Yeah, it's the second 4K here for Hypesy in this game. He's going to be looking for that ace.
Oh.
Doesn't find it. Phantom is going to be the man there to shut him down. 16 kills on Hypesy right now. That is double his second highest on his team.
Pushes into the back of workshop. 2 versus 1. Has Diffuser in hand. They aren't really alerted. Diffuser will now go down. Do they hear the plant is the question. Yes, they do. They spring into action. The plant will be stuck. And now coming from one side, we'll find the pick. Deba finish off the round. And it looks like
Where are we leaving?
all of Entropy gonna leave.
We're going to overtime,
Woo.
I think. unless Entropy have just bottled it and gone, nah, can't be bothered.
I mean, I hope not. we'll get someone to investigate that, but let's go.
We'll
We're
get
going
word
to
from our
overtime.
production soon.
Woo! Oh wow. So yeah, Entropy lost technically. No, I'm joking. Okay. Right. Shall we just both stand like this? Like what?
Shrug emoji.
I don't
yeah,
know.
I have no idea. I think Entropy. I don't even know. Are they playing 6s or are they? Are they trying to like get a rehost? Yeah, it looks like a rehost.
Okay, thank
As our
God.
production has just quickly let us know, but yeah, it's quite funny that they all just immediately left.
Gives everyone a heart attack. What's going on? Where are you going?
Yeah, it's actually an insane game, to be fair. Like, this was 86%, 84%.
100%, yeah. And it's basically 50-50 right now. Like, yeah.
In favor of Entropy,
Hmm.
and we're at 6-6, ready to go into overtime in a game that Pulsar very much could win.
I hope so. I just kind of want to see it happen. I'm very, very big dabbler in things that go wrong. And it would just be so funny just to see something go wrong here. Like,
Oh, look at the
Entropy, you
country we
can't
live in.
lose.
We all love things that go wrong.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah.
But it's a very interesting game, very fun to watch, and well, I really hope the overtime gets underway soon because I'm very interested to see specifically Hype C on the side of Pulsar. He's really bringing the power right now. 16 kills. As I said in the round, it wasn't majorly touched on, but it was just like a quick like he's over. Well, he's not over. He's exactly double the second highest on his team.
Wow.
In kills. In kills, he is worth 2 of his players right
I mean, yeah, that's that's massive. Like, I could never hope to be that much, but yeah. Moving into this, then, what do you expect for Pulsar to win? Because they have to do something massive here. They have to be Entropy for them to see some success out of it. So, what would make them win?
Start on the defense. No,
Do we know?
I have no idea. But it's probably I mean, who was it that got last ban? I think it was Entropy. So Entropy probably picked defense. Or no, Pulsar probably picked defense, sorry. If I'm to try and estimate. But I don't quite know. But if they end up on the what you call it, if they end up on the defense, then I think that very well they could win the game. But I also think that Pulsar generally, as much as the halves went completely even, as we saw by it being 6-6, I think that very very possibly we could see them win even if they start on the attack because I think their attacks have been better
Right.
than
I'd say,
the
yeah.
side of Entropy.
I mean, it's just more thought out. Like, you could see at the very start of the game that Pulsar literally were very cautious. After the first round, they knew that something was up. They knew that there was going to be a very aggressive game, and you could see them taking their time a little bit more information coming out, and they were finding more first picks. Like you said, first picks were more in favor of Pulsar, as we saw that Entropy were struggling to do that. So yeah, it could be a better attack as well from Pulsar, but I mean, I just hope this massive break now doesn't, make things. I don't know. What's the word? I don't know. I'm just hoping this break doesn't slow the momentum anymore of the game, just because both teams were already on a roll. You know what I mean? It was going round for round. I don't want them to go back in and there'll be no momentum in the game.
I see a lot of talking about it in the chat. There has been a lot of talking about it in the chat throughout the game. Yes, there have been a lot of skins used in the match. We specifically saw, I think it was the Malusi Elite skin on Hypesy. There was like a mirror extraction set that was in use by one of the teams, maybe both, etc., etc. I think there's probably like a premeditated agreement by the teams to use like funny skins, or like really neither of them care. So don't worry, chat. If they really had a problem, they'd talk about it. Oh, they are protesting for the last round. They're not going to
Oh.
overtime yet. So Pulsar have to pull another one out of the bag. They have to go for a 5-2 half here.
I mean, like, oh no, I hate protests.
Yeah, it's not great. We especially when like, that seems premeditated as well, with how sort of how many skins have been used throughout the match.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just the side of Pulsar that are using them and things like that. Maybe there was a skin that they specifically said, like, don't use this one. But realistically, it's like, it's a little weird.
Well, I'm just glad that it's not me answering the protest, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, moving in, we're gonna have an interesting overtime if it does happen. If the round gets replayed, I mean, it's just unfortunate. But okay, beautiful. So it looks like we will be getting back into it very shortly, though. So I'm hoping to get back in as fast as possible.
Me too, because I really want to see how the side of Pulsar actually play this. Because realistically, this very well could be, a very interesting game, especially if they allowed it to go to overtime. I think if it still does go to overtime, this could be one of the more interesting games of the series. And I think more than likely, as I said, with the amount of skins used, realistically, it doesn't. I feel like it shouldn't really quantify this because, as I said, I do believe this is probably premeditated. But I think that with how the game's gone so far, I think if Pulsar are able to come out of this game with a win, Pulsar might have had the biggest turnaround we've ever seen in the ESA Cup. Going from a team that's kind of okay to a team that just beat Entropy with an extra round that they have to win. So potentially we could be seeing Pulsar really state, well, a legacy here.
Wow. I mean, replaying the round is how it's going to go, I guess. I mean, let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens. I really want this overtime, though. Come back, overtime. We nearly had you. But it seems the protest has got the rounds. Here we go. Jumping in to the setup, we do go back to the exact same site as before. Down the bottom, where the last round was played.
Oh
and
my God.
Yeah.
They protested the Malusi as well. You can tell because she's now default.
Wow.
Like, that's nuts. But now we're going to be seeing the same round again, but
10 seconds left
probably
before
played
insertion.
differently by the attackers. They do have to bring the same operators on both
5
sides
seconds
as
to
per
go.
the rules. So
Yeah.
there is a bit of an advantage for both sides there. They know exactly
Attacker's
what they're
objective
dealing
is
with,
to
and
defuse a bomb.
they've got to try and do some things in order to get themselves a bit more sort of stapled into this. And while Hypesy going to be going for a
Oh.
quick little run out early on. Interesting
He's
to see the silencer on the MP5.
I mean, the fact that we're going to see that run out early just shows that they want this round. They're very aggressive right now. They're itching, but it's going to be one to go down. Maybe a second!
Yeah.
Hafler! And the pings for a third. They know there's another one in there, so he's not going to play too much. But there's one pushing right up to the door. Can we find it? This could be an easy pick. No, it's not. Glock going to run away. A 3 versus 5 in a replayed round. Entropy just in a great position right now, and that could be the end of the game on match point. Such a big decision to make, and here it is. The ping's coming off. Ping 3 and a live red ping as well. It will be Tim to just swing into that locker. He's not going to find one, but Diva finds Alfafla. Oh. It's open. There's the pinch. The Phantom finds Timmy. 4 versus 2. Diva and Glock. Glock trying to find one upstairs, but he can't. He's going to get droned out. Diva finds a second. He's fragging out right now, and this is a great situation for him.
It's a great situation for his team if he continues to do so, because they're really in the gutter right now. You've lost Hypesy, you've lost the man that was on 16 kills at the start of this rehost. And now we're going to be seeing a much more scary soul have to bring themselves in what is essentially a 2 versus 5, and well, that's going to be Entropy finding that final round, getting themselves to win, and well, the protest was worth it for them.
Well, I mean, what can you do? A protest comes out, and if you're not following the rules, then you get stuck with a bit of a consequence on the board here. And then Entropy, 7-5 victory. That's how it is. Unlucky to Pulsar. They've shown us an incredible game, and I'm sure everyone will be talking about this. Will remember this. But yeah, you can see just massive pick there from Afla. Just look at that. Beautiful. Finds 2 instantly. That's pretty much sealing most of the round. We will see 2 coming in from Mute, though. Deba will find a couple of picks. And just to finish off the round, it will be the ace to finish off. I mean, the round, the game, it was so good. The split was interesting all the way until that final bit. I mean, I'm upset. I'm very upset. Nash, just you're going to have to console me for the rest of this cast. I'm going to cry.
I think I am too. I was really hoping to see the overtime between those 2 teams there, but obviously they were having none of it on the side of Entropy. They decided they didn't want to deal with skins in the end. And now, well, we see Pulsar unfortunately fall. And I think realistically there's going to be, like, speaking from a realistic perspective, I'm not trying to be biased. But I think that there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to look at that as a disrespectful move, especially considering those skins were played before. There was no complaints throughout multiple rounds, and then the moment they reach overtime, because they're like, we can secure like an extra round here, we're going to protest. So that's where it's like a bit of muddy water for the side of Entropy here, and I think that could be seen very well as like bad mannerisms.
Yeah, I mean, if a team's agreed, it's just a little bit bad. But obviously, we're going to jump in now. I'm hoping for a better next game, right?
Yeah.
Something that's going to just make me a little bit more happy. But yeah, talking about the next game, what do we have next?
Let's have a quick little look-see at the schedule. We have MG, I'm pretty sure Mythic Gaming, Ryuga, versus Silent. Silent, a team I haven't seen, and Mythic, a team that I've heard about and seen some clips of, but haven't really had the opportunity to cast them myself. So I'm interested.
Well, stay tuned, because after the break, we will be seeing both of those teams battle it out, and hopefully on a good map as well. We'll be back with you shortly after the break. Hello and welcome back to ESA. I'm TD. This is Nash. How's it going, Nash?
I'm fantastic. I'm a bit annoyed about how the first game went, but we move on. We have 2 new different, well, I say new teams, they're not new teams, 2 different teams to cover in this matchup. And well, do you want to just give us a quick rundown of the 2 teams we're going to be looking at?
Ryuga versus Silence, and a couple of teams that I've seen, before. I've seen the Ryuga roster from MG and Silent. I've seen last season play a couple of games. I think the rosters is a little bit different for Silent. Both teams that haven't. I mean, they've been. The fixtures are a little bit weird, as we've been saying before. I believe we saw a lot of big wipes. They've lost a lot of games, 7-1, and then they've gone to beat some bigger teams. So we'll have a look at the staff prediction now and see exactly where we're at here. And I'm hoping it's a bit closer. No. No.
I'm hoping it's a bit closer. No,
it's not. Ryuga looking to be the clean sweep. There's 3 for Silence, so that's okay. I'm
going to be honest. I haven't seen much from either of these teams. I've seen some clips. I know Silent as the Hakadino team because he streams. And then I don't really know anything about Mythic.
Well, let's take a look and see exactly what the community vote says. It is 73% to 27% in favor of Ryuga. And I think the community pretty much knows that MG have a good roster here. I think overall, a lot of the fans have seen Ryuga's games and seen that they are fairly strong. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what the map is now. Oh, here we go.
There might have been a bit of a spoiler in the chat that I just read. Yeah, it's gonna be Oregon. And I just I'm a little unsure about it going to Oregon because this could be a bit of a broken dream here for the side of MG. Because specifically you've got like a handful of maps, or a select couple maps, one of which being Oregon. That I realistically there's no point going through the others because we're looking at Oregon. But one of the main two, to be fair, is Oregon. And it's known as the Great Equalizer for a reason. It's very fundamental. It comes very much down to how well you play as a team, how well you're able to play the game as an individual, and how well you're able to translate rounds. And that is going to be a big determining factor to how this game goes. And I think it's not going to be this sort of like strategic sort of back and forth, maybe even a slugfest. It's not going to be either of those things. Maybe for a round, maybe not, but it's Oregon, so anything could happen. It's just going to be very fundamental.
Yeah, I don't really see as many close games on Oregon anymore. It's kind of just like if one team builds that momentum, they are winning the game throughout, and a lot of teams know how to play it. I've seen a couple of close games last season, but I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Ryuga can play against Silent as we go into the map bans, and let's be honest, they're going to be the most default standard things in the world. Solis, Fenrir, probably a Ying, and maybe a Monty. Monty's been quite strong for entry frag on Oregon in a few games that we've seen as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what we have for this defensive side in Silent.
Well, yeah. I'm very interested to see sort of is what?
Wow, I nailed that.
The Monty Ban's a little crazy. I'm not too sure why they take out the Monty specifically, considering how like often Blitz is played through that bunker area, things like that. It very much seems like they're trying to deny a sort of dirt-esque push from like Clubhouse. But realistically, we see the Flores go out, a very standard ban, one of those more oppressive operators for the blue push, and we'll probably try and hinder that a little bit as an operator, so taking him off the board is very, very nice for the defensive side. Next ban on the defense is going to be Mirror, and the final ban's just going to be Solis or Fenrir.
I like a game without Mirror.
It depends what they're after. If they're after intel denial, they'll take out the Solis, and if they're after entry denial, they'll take out the Fenrir. So
I think with Fenrir though, if it is on the board, we'll just see a Brava, and that'll solve the problem pretty quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we're gonna see both. It's gonna be a Zami.
Okay.
So they're looking to hinder the defensive integrity.
I'm looking very interested at this. No Mirror, no Azami is incredible. Flores, I haven't seen Flores being banned as much on Oregon, you know. It's mainly just been like that quick entry denial, like a Ying. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a game without Flores. We are going to see a Grim though on the board, and it's pretty standard to bring a Grim on Oregon, I'd say, just because of how easy it is to gain information, and I can't wait to see that being utilized. We do have ourselves a Valkyrie, a Goyo, a Smoke, a Frost, and a Mute moving in up top. Yeah, nice. We've got the Goyo, so that's going to be an interesting one to see, I'd say.
Yeah, Goyo, one of those operators. It again just comes back to the fabled F word, which is fundamental. It's just one of those operators that can be played in pretty much any situation, so you run it. Valkyrie is just a very powerful operator. Mute is an operator that can be played in pretty much any situation, especially as an anchor. Same with Smoke. And it's just like it's a very fundamental lineup from these defenders. What I'm more interested in, however, is we have a Capitao, which isn't really played as much anymore, a Twitch, which isn't really played as much anymore, Deimos, which a lot of people have written off as useless.
Yeah, I'd say Deimos. Like, I personally think it's unless you've got a 1v, you know, a 1v3 in favor of the attack. Like,
Yeah.
there's,
But then you've got the Amaru and the Ace, which are the two, ironically enough, A-side operators for this this lineup, because they're going to be the two operators that are frequently played in this situation.
I mean, we are holding up big tower stairs. They know that, and we're going to see already a pick onto the Twitch from the main door, as Atom will find that one. 4 versus 5 to start off with 2 minutes on the clock, and a lot of work to try and get rid of this Frost, which will go down, and that will make the numbers a 4 versus 4. But shots fired here straight away from the soft breach in Attic, I believe. Oh, there we go. He's going to rotate through now. It'll be the Mute, who has also a shield that you can utilize as well on that upper Attic side. 1 minute 40 on the clock.
The thing we haven't even touched on or established yet is the fact that they've got no progress on towards the site. They've repelled into a Frostmat. They've lost a player. They're going to have 1 on 20 HP that's going to be moving slowly, even though she's supposed to be the entry fragger. The Ace can't get the wall because it's muted. And you're Pogma. And you're looking at a situation where, realistically, the attackers are at a pretty major disadvantage here. They've been pretty well hindered.
With only a minute to go and nothing really being opened up, we'll find a pick there for the English SMG. It will be Deyuko, who finds a second with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Swings in, though. It will be 2 coming in from the Ace. 1 dropping off of Big Tower now to try and contest this Attic side. It will be Deyuko on the Attic shields. What can Pat do here? He's got no flashes. He's just got hard reach gadgets in his pocket. He's got to try and move his way closer. He will find it, though. And Atom will get 1. Now left in a 1 versus 1 situation. Inching closer. Atom to finish off the round, and Pat will go down.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy to see that the 2v2 at the end was 2 of the most overpicked operators on Oregon. Just full stop. On both sides. Because you had the Ace and the Amaru, and then you had the Valkyrie and the Mute, which are 2 insanely overpicked operators for this map, for both sides. And I said it at the beginning, you're left with this like extremely fundamental duo on both sides that is very well coordinated, very well equipped to deal with each other. And well, the disadvantage lies with just miscommunication, maybe misdroning, just misinformation in general for the attacking side.
And as we move to the basement bomb site, we do see a Cade on the board, along with a Mute as well. We will also have a Warden, a Wamai, and, well, Fenrir is going to be played this time.
I also will argue that the defense, the side of Silent,
5
played
seconds to go.
that round pretty sloppy.
Yeah, they did. I mean, look at that. They both swung the trophy and got refragged by the breach that had then been opened. Like 2 massive losses. They're both just caught in the open. You just saw how the round instantly shifted from their favor into a 2v2, 1v1, you know?
Well, that Unfrost got immediately slammed by an angle she opened.
Okay. Something I definitely overlooked.
It's a bit absurd, really, like, to see 3 players get absolutely annihilated, but
Bomb
still
located by
it come
attacker.
down to this 2v2 and still be won by the defenders.
We are going to see this blitz storming through towards the big tower stairs, and we'll look to try and put a bit of pressure on, as now the Wamai will run away, taking some damage in the process. Now we're looking to open up the meeting hall hatch as well. We do have pretty much a hard breach gadget pocket meta right now, as everyone is just utilizing those instead of actual hard breaches, which is pretty standard here. They don't need to open up anything else realistically, as they're just going to try and force their way through utilizing this blitz, who's in a good position really to push down those big stairs if he does have a bit more information, and if they can get that hatch open as well. Going to see the shots from the Mute here, trying to push away this white stairs attack. It will be the blitz to be sent down, and off Mute goes. The flash misses, but Atom will find Hydex in the process here.
I have a really random question, and someone in chat might be the person to help me here. But how do punch holes work with a shield now?
Do they just bash it?
Yeah, but does it make a punch hole?
I don't know.
It wouldn't make sense. Oh, really? Okay. Apparently, my prediction says it's the exact same. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, did he not punch hole the wall? But then I was like, wait, new shield mechanics, how does that work now?
With 1 minute on the clock, Doki Call will go in. And the attack looking to be finding themselves a big pick there onto Wamai as they push through Freezer. There will be another one. And Pat to find Atom. 4 versus 2. The Blitz now in a good place to push straight into sight here. And Dako kind of stuck behind the shield. Gonna see the Blitz, but gets shot. Gold to find Eden.
That's a little absurd there. Something that some people touch on, some people don't. I like to drive it into the ground. Oregon Basement. One of the most defender-sided sites in the game. Was for a very long time the most defender-sided site in the game, but then Nighthaven was added to the meta. And Nighthaven had like, I think in a couple majors and also Pro League, it had like a 70% defender win rate minimum on every site.
Wow.
So it's like up until like Nighthaven was brought in, Oregon Basement was one of the most defender-sided sites in the game. And we just saw it relatively effortlessly taken by the side of MG on that attack, and it looks like they want to go for pretty much the exact same thing again, but this time with the Dekebi instead of IQ, I believe, or someone else. I'm not sure. I can check actually.
Grim's been run. Yeah.
Oh no, it's someone instead of Twitch. Someone instead of Twitch.
Yeah,
I think it's Ash.
Ash it is. Yeah, it's Ash
Yeah.
instead of Twitch. Yeah.
So yeah, we're looking at an Ash instead of a Twitch. So they're just looking to do the same thing.
I mean, I think Ash might just be a bit more useful because, you know, if they're going to push that, then Twitch has to be on the drone to do anything with the utility it's bringing, right? And Ash can be pretty forceful in that way, opening things up quickly. We've got those Banshees that can be dealt with quite easily from range or be shot. So we'll see. Can also open up some softballs quick, and it depends really on what we're going to bring for that last operator pick as well. As yeah, we've got a little bit of a change.
Exactly, and I'm interested to see if they do decide to try and take it faster, because that's like something that we did see them try and do in the earlier portion of the last round. They tried to take a very sort of like aggressive, quick approach in order to try and get themselves into the building a little earlier and maybe even get themselves onto the site a little earlier. But one thing that I did really want to touch on is, as much as the round ended on frags and the pace started to pick up once they actually started getting picks onto these defenders, if it wasn't for that, when they were in the 4v5 as the attack, they stalled for over 40 seconds as an attack. Nobody left within 5 meters of the position that they were in to begin with until they got that first defender pick. For 40 seconds.
Right, yeah.
So,
I mean,
if the defenders are able to preserve their life, they can just stagnate this attack completely. Just stall it.
you can see that they play quite aggressive on that freezer side for a little bit of a while, and they just, like you said, they just sat there. And they had to rotate the blitz all the way through meet, and I think that's what they were communicating to go and change the push that they were doing. But I mean, now waiting on the player to return, going back down to basement, right?
Yeah, we did see a basement pick for these defenders, so more than likely it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing from both sides. And we saw, if I remember correctly, a Malusi, a Cade, a Wamai, and a Fenrir on the defense. I do remember correctly because the streamers just popped that up for me, so I'm just going to go off that. So they're going to be the 4 operators in question that are going to be quite sort of like prolific in this situation, and I think the only real testament we have is the fact that they're bringing a Cade and a Malusi in favor of 2 of the operators they brought previously. One of them is either the mute or the warden. Because they were both brought in the previous round, and there's only room for one more operator. So one of them at least is the mute or the warden. They are going to be looking at bringing in... it's going to be the mute that's replaced. So they're opting to not deal with the drones, or the heavy calls with the mute jammers, and well, the side of Mythic are deciding not to bring the Twitch. So there's realistically not a grand amount of points. So they're bringing along the Malusi to stall. They're bringing along the Cade because they think they're probably going to try and go for hatches. Oh my goodness! I just realised that Ying isn't banned. And we're going to be seeing a Ying, we're going to be seeing a Sense, we're going to be seeing a Bravo, we're going to be seeing a Blitz. This is a full blue bunker rush.
Oh my god. It's going to be absolutely hectic. That Warden, though, might have a field day. Depends if Warden gets caught on the abilities cooldown or not. We'll see.
Sense has spawned in the wrong place.
Oh. Well, that's another 40 seconds of time delayed. Right. It looks like actually we're going to go rotate ourselves all the way to Big Tower side as Ying is repelling in and possibly going to try and put some pressure on the pillars with those Candelas if it can push down. As you can see, slowly just pushing its way through, finds the default, and no, instead, he's going to rotate to meeting.
This is what I think their plan is. Their plan is to do a general rough clear in order for specifically Maverick to try and get that meeting hatch. Because that's the only hatch they care about.
Right.
They're going to try and get the meeting hatch. Then Sens and Blitz are going to play over by Blue. Bravo's already cleared the utility, and then they're going to have the Ying on the back stairs. So you see the Maverick now getting the meeting hatch. That's only going to be open to try and deny the fire from the head holes. At least a little bit. It's going to deny enough for Blitz to be able to make his way through onto the elbow or even onto the floor. And then we're going to be seeing the... Bravo can kind of do whatever after she's cleared some utility. I don't really know what her position's going to be, but Ying is definitely going to be on those back stairs, maybe above the hatch to throw some Candelas down to, see if they can find some free picks.
You see the Wamai just prepping a couple of those Wamai magnets as well, just to possibly deal with any lethals to be thrown. And here it goes. The Candela is being sent down that hatch. It will be the Warden prepped in pillars ready.
Indeed, we're seeing these players just kind of buddy themselves up with each other now. They know the Blitz is going to be the first man to come from blue, so the Warden feels very safe just sitting around in the corner. The Candela goes out, flashes out a few of those players, but Warden's going to be the man to stand and wait inside of that area. Going to try and take the swing on towards the back stairs, but the smoke is going to be there to deny. He is going to try and make his way through. Standing in the middle of the smoke is him right now, but the drop coming through from these attackers, the Fenrir and Mine is going to deny the aggression from the hatch, and now we're going to be seeing this three. It's going to be Blitz and Sense versus Cade, Fenrir, and Warden.
These attackers don't care about those Fenrirs. They're just pushing themselves through, and the attack falling very quickly. As is now the Blitz in a 1 versus 3 with 20 seconds on the clock to even find those kills. Barely being covered by that Sense. As soon as it goes, he's going to get shot in the back anyway. There it is. Atom to find the pick, and the attack falling very short.
Indeed. It's one of those situations where you kind of got yourself caught. You had those players in positions, and realistically, if I was the IGL in that situation, once I'd have seen 3 people on that drone inside of Pillar, I would have immediately called, not for a full rotation, but for maybe Maverick to try and push down Laundry. Because, he's a 3-speed, he's close, he can get there quick, get himself down Laundry, start getting some aggression, because at least 3 of their team are over on Pillar side, and more than likely, there's going to be like a 4th sort of around there for a refrag if...
Absolutely is. Now we'll go up to the top floor and to change up the composition possibly for this attack, or roll with what we've seen before, but will be the Valkyrie coming back on the board. We've got the Frost once again as well, who's managed to be quite impactful with the Frost mat on the board. However, let's hope that Frost doesn't get first picked, if he's going to expand into that big tower again. We will see that the Azami is the pick to go for with an Osa and an Ace on the board, an IQ and a Sophia this time. Must say, I do quite like the Sophia utility. I think it's arguably better than Ashes in some situations here, but we'll find an early pick. Hello. It will be the Goyo finding a pick off of Laundry.
Well, good luck dealing with Alt now as we see the IQ fall, and those Valcam's going to be so much more prolific in this matchup as we see the time move on. We are going to be seeing a big window kind of push from the from the Osa here. She is going to be placing down that shield in order to try and cut off rotations between the White Stairs and the site itself. But there is 3 impacts and 2 C4s, so realistically those Osa shields shouldn't last very long.
I mean, hopefully not, because it should be a quick little pickup. And Osa as well being an operator to bring the claymores as well. So here we go. Pat gonna find one as Atom goes down. And there's a frag coming in from Kids. Hello. Eden just swings the window, finds Pat, and says, I'll have you. As now 2 of those attackers gonna fall. It'll be Gold rappelling up to the game's side window, just holding that angle between the trophy and the game's entry there. And Sophia now locked in to try and push and get anything off the wall as well. Those mute jammers should be gone. We'll see exactly what's happening because Ace is rotating to double. One side is reinforced off. I mean, he's opened up the wall just barely, so they can watch the rotation between White and this outside balcony area here.
Yeah, already had the Selmas placed, so that main breach is going to be open. Ace is going to be over here on that main window, going to be trying to see if he can get himself in and actually get a plant down behind the on a bunk bed there, the hobo bunk bed as it's called in Fallout, for like no apparent reason. But he gets himself picked by the Oyo. That Vector with an ACOG, especially on console, is so deadly. And now, if he uses cold, Osa's just got to go for it with no shields remaining. Sophia is going to be on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, Osa in this situation doesn't have that shield to utilize, but we'll try and see if we can push our way through the walk-in closet here. The Banshee could be triggering. There's a possible... Oh, he's missing out on that head. And it will be Osa to get taken down by a Frostmat and finished off as the crossfire comes in from the Frost to finish off the round. And I mean, just looking at this situation, Osa just trying to force away straight in to the bunks. Obviously, there's a player literally to the right, and that's the power of Frost. You jump in, well, you are either going to get Frostmatted or killed by the player that's watching that angle. So, I mean, I personally would have liked to see both players try and double up to trophy side. I mean, most of the utility was still intact as well. We saw quite a few Banshees still on the board as well. I just think it was a bit of a sloppy round from the attack.
Many bombs as they can.
Yeah, I'm gonna be completely honest. There's 2 ways to play Osa in comp, and those 2 ways are to play her as a solo player, which is just wrong. Or play her for an execute. And
right, like you see on Chalet, right?
Yeah, the thing that we've seen so far, and even on this site in particular on Oregon, where you place them on the top of tower, the bottom of tower, you open the walls, and then you have angles all the way through, so no one can play hatch, and no one can push through into meeting without like a bit of pressure. So the thing about like Osa at the moment is we've seen Osa played on both of the games that we've seen so far. And both times I've kind of gone, this will probably go bad, and then it's gone bad. Because it's just being played as this very like solo pressure operator that isn't really being used for these executes. I like the pick for it alongside the gridlock on this site in particular, and I think that it definitely could be played very well. But if they try and go for some sort of like weird little corner plant back here with this breach open, I think realistically it's just going to really go terribly. I don't like the ace on this site. I think you should just bring Thermite instead. because you want to try and open these two walls. And if you open these two walls with Ace, well, one of them's a vaulting rotate, the other one's walking.
Oh, Atom with a C4. Pack goes down. What a massive pick there. As we were finding Osa, but most of the shields already moved, been placed anyway. But they can't be moving them around anymore. That means they can't advance closer if they do want to go for that execute. And the Mav slowly Maving open those holes. Question is, did the Mav holes get her killed? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, possibly. It will be 1 minute 40 on the clock as a pick from behind in lobby will be the one to claim that bandit. A nice little refrag on the board. 1 minute 30 on the clock. And slowly, we've got one actually playing in lobby. One of these defenders. It will be Wamai, who's going to go back upstairs.
Indeed it is. The Yuko is also going to be over here on the bedroom side. Ella also going to be upstairs. So it's only going to be the one man on site. And that's Hakanino, the man, the myth, the streamer himself, through on this kitchen side rotate, as Faison is going to be the man to try and get the diffuser down inside the site. He is going to be over on this little split side, as he does want to try and poke up through the hatch, but isn't quite able to see the man he's looking for, as he is elevated on those pallets right now. Gold going to be trying to get the plant down, and the Ella has to try and take the drop down the hatch, gets caught by Faison. Aljo finds another, and it's going to be Hakanino, the last man standing in this situation. Gets caught out a little bit by these track stingers, and now they know his position from the firing. And that's going to be Faison to secure the round.
I mean, personally, when it comes to this bomb site, I prefer the up top take, just because, you know, you can clear easily, but I've never seen kind of like such a quick entry. The defenders just kind of like not being able to deny them from pushing in the meat inside way through the split entry, and it just worked out in their favor. They kind of did a double-sided take. They took both walls and pushed straight in, and it just left them to drop the hatch in such a good position there for the Ace to be in.
Yeah, I'd also like to add to my previous statement about Osa that no matter what anybody says, solo plays rarely work in competitive. Full stop. And you might think, oh, what about like Shaiko and Solotov or like Doki or whatever, right? These players, as much as yes, they're in there on their own, it's not a solo play. They're being droned, they have information, they have these cameras, like, you know what I mean? They have active, like, information on a lot of these players, and when they don't, they're forced. And that's where it becomes desperate, that's where you start to see their aim shine, and we're looking at the moment at an Osa that's being played as a solo player without actually being in a dire situation, and that's what's scaring me about the Osa being played in this map and the map before. Obviously, she's not being caught.
As we will, of course, now see the Hibana being utilized on the board for this basement site. A little bit quicker than maybe that Mav would be as well to get open those hatches, and we can open up all three if needed. But we'd also be seeing the Dokkaebi coming into play, and I do like the Dokkaebi, as it can clear out any of that roam if it's there very quickly as well for site executes, hunting for those situations, maybe a 2 versus 2, 2 versus 3 situation. As we also jump in, we do have, of course, this attack trying to get control of this meeting. It looks like it's going to be very quick as we open up with those Hibanas, and that's what I like about Hibana. Very quick access when contested. We will see that Wamai sat in the site with the shield, so going to be able to possibly contest anyone pushing down that freezer side very comfortably with that shield intact. And we'll see now all those hatches getting opened.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw in the earlier portion around Playdex hovering around inside of Trophy doing his best ceiling fan impression, and he did pretty good at it. Now we're going to be seeing these nades fly in, try and deal with the FNATs that are going to be placed on the hatch, and I'm not quite sure if that did, but for the attacker's sake, we're surely going to hope so.
And now slowly pushing down freezer. Someone is there. to try and contest. Some shots fired, and Phazon will take a little bit of damage, but he's inching very close. And Radex trying to push into Laundry, but he's not being allowed as the flashbangs. And here we go. The fire rounds will be thrown in to the hall. Here he goes. Detected by the Grims as well. And slowly, Gold going to find one onto Atom. It'll be Akishi will take some damage, but Pat finds a grenade kill. Eden goes down. Capiteo slowly inching forward. We'll find one there onto Laundry. And Dayuko in a 1 versus 4. Plank going down. Grimm's on the board there as well. Just holding that corridor. Can we find the Cappy? It's not going to come to play. It will be a down. And there we go. The pinch from Freezer from Pat to finish off with a drop from the hatch.
Incredibly well coordinated attack from the side of Mythic here, and I think now they're going on to the defense. It's going to be so good for them in this matchup. They're going to be able to bring themselves to this sort of like position where they've got this 3-3 half, and realistically all they have to do is one better. And well, with the default half being 4-2 by standard, and then on certain maps being even worse than that with the defender meta, it's looking a little dire for the side of Silent coming into their attacking half. They need to be able to prove themselves on this attack and be able to, you know, have a bit of a more fruitous performance than they did on their defense.
I mean, I've seen Ryuga's defensive capabilities, and I'd say they are very, very strong. So we'll see exactly how they can display these now, as we do, of course, go to basement first. And I'd probably say this is one of their better sites when it comes to playing, because they are quite aggressively inclined. They do like to force those gunfights, and they do play quite an expanded off-site presence. So we'll see exactly how that is utilized here. Will the attack be able to deal with it? Let's see. Can they roam clear? Can they make sure they have that control early on? I mean, that's going to be fundamental for them to do so. The Grim on the board being ran with a Capiteo, a Hibana, a Twitch on the board, and an Ash to suit. But we have on the roam the Solace, which is going to be very key to finding more information from where that attacking side is coming from, and exactly, well, I mean, I'd share that information with the rest of the defense as well here, as we will be able to move slowly to come and defend some stairs. Shots fired from Pat, as he's just playing the tower angle here.
I don't blame the side of Mythic, but I think there's a certain team strat book that they've kind of taken a few things out of. A certain T1 team in the Pro League right now that they've kind of taken a few pointers out of, and one of them is something that I very well passed on to the team I do my analysis for, and that is the fact that, well, you never ban Solace, and instead, if she's available, play her every single round. Straight away, replace your Intel operator and play her. Because realistically, whether you run the P90 in the SMG or you run the shotgun in the SMG, it is a more worthwhile operator with how stupidly broken she is, especially in the early round for chasing drones and denying early utility without having any risk. You look at an operator that is just insane. And I think that realistically, we're going to be seeing this sort of like very conservative roam with them dropping off back onto site and just playing a full turtle with a man advantage, which is exactly what they've done in this round so far, which is exactly the way BDS are iconically known for playing.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
And with a 5 versus 1 with, well, 49 seconds left, which is insane. Capiteo is kind of clueless to what to do, and I'd probably just sit there for a little bit of an in-game tactical timeout and talk, because they now need to know exactly what to do with this roam. Oh my god, everyone's pushing. Line him up.
This is where you see the lack of professionalism. This is where you see the lack of professionalism, because they're not a T1 team. They don't have the discipline that BDS had. They're not going to sit on site and wait. The Capitao is outside. They want to try and push him. They know generally where he is, and they found him, and they killed him.
And yeah, you can just see some key highlights there, just popping up with the C4 and the shotgun, trying to find some picks. I mean, this round shows exactly, for me, exactly what Ryuga can do on the defense and why I believe they are very strong. We know exactly what they're capable of, and we can see that they're going to keep running that Solace pretty much all defense. So I'd be surprised if it does get subbed off for anything else. And a mute there to try and disrupt the drone economy as well for that attack inside. And the attack going to be bringing the IQ to see if they can deal with, I mean, the Solace in general, but I don't know if it will, and as well as those other electrical gadgets. And we're going to see the Thermite and Ace being brought onto the board, only by that Thatcher.
Well, the thing about Solace as well is there's a very, as much as she's broken either way, like she's overpowered either way, there is a very stark contrast between a team that knows how to play Solace and a team that doesn't. A team that doesn't will often just like try and use her utility later into the round in order to try and look for the plant and mainly use that alongside the mid-round drone work. But a really good Solace will play these awful positions and chase drones much earlier into the round in order to be able to secure themselves a lot of well, denied intel. And if you can deny even like 3 drones in the prep phase, then you're left in a position where it's realistically only 7 drones can hunt. And if you find all 5, then you've halved the drones that can hunt you as a roamer that you can specifically track as an operator.
We're seeing very aggressive plays coming from this big tower side as the attack is slowly pushing in, but Solace will be looking for some more information, and we've already seen that Gold is playing on the Z hallway. I mean, he's just looking to swing. They know exactly what room they're pushing through. There's 3 of them as well, possibly trying to push through there. There's a shield as well, and I mean, opening up walking without dealing with it now. We'll see exactly how that goes for them.
Well, they are going to be playing very conservatively on this attack. They're not choosing to try and go like super balls to the wall too early, and well, the head holes have been reinforced off by the defenders in order to give themselves minimal angles and force them to have to use a hard breach in order to open up that angle for themselves to use on towards the rotate.
1 minute 18 here. And it's a 5 versus 5, a potential bloodbath running into sight here. We'll see in just a moment exactly how they're going to execute. And Solace still downstairs, playing around the white area. He's pretty much...
Do you remember what I said about the man count in the previous match?
Yeah.
It is so harrowing as an attacker to have to push into this 5 versus 5 man count. You know everybody is just holding every position. And well... yes, you've managed to isolate 1, you've got a man advantage. There's still 4 men, and you know every single one of them is on and around site.
There we go. Atom will find 1, though. It's a 37 seconds until the round is over. We'll see exactly how they can push through. White Stairs has a player on it, though. Defuser looking to be planted. He's gone off of it. We'll find a pick coming straight in onto Atom. 4 versus 4, 20 seconds left. C4 from below, it'll be Gold to find the Thermite. And a shot through the floor as well. Gold finds another 4 versus 1, as it looks pretty similar to how the round was before. Last defense and attack. 4 seconds left, and well, it looks pretty pointless here as the impact will finish him off.
Cool guys, don't look at explosions. I hate that. Oh, I hate that so much. He threw that impact. I don't know if anyone noticed. He threw that impact, immediately turned around and started walking away.
Wow. 5-3. Nash, what's going on here? This defense is so strong. How can Silent possibly break through? And what do they need to do?
Well, they're going to try and play again. They're going to try and play into the fact that Solace is going to be played now. And what the side of MG have done is they've switched off the Solace in favor of an Oryx, and this isn't Elem's play right here specifically. This is from Elem's specific strat book. He would switch off the Solace a random round in the middle of a defense, especially on Oregon, and just play hatchwork as Oryx on the tertiary site. And it worked so unbelievably
10
well
seconds left before
because you're like
insertion.
looking for this solace that you think exists, and then there's just a guy that hops up on a hatch and ruins your day.
You get pushed into the wall.
Yeah.
He beats on you a few times. Well, it's Oryx for you as we move into the round. Solace not on the board, but we will see they're coming into play. Along with a very orientated hard-breaching network with a Thatcher as well to bring us to the board. And they do really like to run this double hard breacher. Do you think it's necessary?
Yeah, 100%. I think Thermite is the only real pick for pushing a meeting site. I believe the Ace can be brought, same with the Habana, in order to open up the meeting walls that are closer towards Garage and Main. But in order to actually be able to get yourself in and onto the site and get that plant down, I believe that you need to have the Thermite breach on both of these walls. And, well, with the Bandit tricking, you could see them lose one of these exothermic charges.
Brilliant. As we now do see those EMPs being thrown up, it will be the exothermic charge to be tricked. And, well, the Bandit's having a good time right now, but they know he's upstairs, so will they go for the bottom one? I don't know. Will they continue to try and apply pressure? We'll see. As now they have to work out exactly what they want to do with this Bandit.
Well, they know they have the breach open below because it's a soft wall on half of it, and well, they've got an ash. So in comes the breaching charge once again as well. It's going to be another Thermite exothermic to go out and get that wall open. In the end, Bandit drops down into the sightline of Ash, but doesn't quite lose his life. A lot of health is lost so far on a few of these defenders, but still upon the opening frag is Alja.
Oryx in such a good position. Phazon to find Atom. And he's just running around downstairs, ready to pop up at any time. And it will be the three attackers just trying to force their way in through the stage, catching Bandit off guard as well as he's running to splits. And now we will find two bodies down on site. They do technically have control of the meeting side, but they have to be careful of any potential retakes. That's what the OS is here for, right? On the top of this attic, stopping from that attic side to rotate. You can see someone now trying to push through and just being able to hold, but it will be one to go down as it will be Adjo loses his life here. 2 versus 3, and the defense in a bit of a bad situation right now, not able to try and find these picks, find this direction. And it will be Deiko to find Phazon off the board. He goes. It will be gold in a 1 versus 3. 21 seconds left. And it looks like the round has pretty much met its course. As now they just try and hunt after this gold. And he's just kind of just going to sit in kitchen and try and find the pick from above. It won't happen. Nakishi to finish off that round there.
Yeah, and this is what I will hands down say is the difference between bringing the Thermite and bringing the Ace. Or like, well, bringing the Thermite or not bringing the Thermite. Like, that is the difference. You brought the Thermite, you brought the OSA, you brought the Ace. You opened up the meeting walls with the Ace, you opened up the main walls that you need open with the Thermite mainly. Obviously, they had the soft breach on half the wall, so they used the Ash for the downstairs. And then they won the round. Because they were able to get everything they needed open and ready and done get themselves into this round. The side of what do you call it? The side of Mythic decided to go for this stupidly roundabout route to open the wall with Maverick and then use the Buck to open up the upstairs as well as blowing open the soft wall that the Maverick has created by using the breaching torch on the wall, and then use the OSA shields
10 seconds
and
to go.
have the Ace open on the opposite side during that, and it's like you're just wasting too much time
5 seconds
when
left.
you know that you could just bring a Thermite and do it much quicker, much more quickly.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Again, this is a strat that is played pretty much every time we go Oregon Basement by BDS with Solace Band. This is very much like a BDS strat buff that we see from the side of Mythic specifically. I don't know if it's intentional, but every single sort of operator lineup that they're going for, and also the positionings that they're playing with these operators is very much like Ilem's BDS, like very much like how he structured the team when he was playing.
And Phazon will find himself finding an opening kill there onto the Nook by the looks of it, as the Jackal starts to find some pings coming in. And up in security, it will be the Mute as well, locked in and looking to take a gunfight. And that does mean that they can possibly keep control very early on. Goal to find one. We find any more. It will be a 3 versus 4 with the clash on the board as well. That's insane to see. All stacking up onto this freezer side. Phazon to find another. Caught with a shotgun. Beautiful pick coming in as Akashi now in a 1 versus 4. And a familiar situation to most of these defending rounds. Yeah, not good for him.
Yeah, just Akashi left alone, running around this kitchen side. Trying to keep away from the clash because he doesn't want to be slowed down, but a beautiful wall bang from Pat just puts him, just like a dog, puts him down.
He hit the table leg as well, that's crazy. Mad.
Took to the vets, and he's got fluid in his lungs. He just got put down.
Well, we're on match point, and you can see just how this this defense played. They played that security, no control from the kitchen side. We'll just pump 2 in the back, and really easy round for them. And there you go, Pat with the wall bang. I mean, it's going to be a tactical timeout. Hello, as Silent need this. They do. They need to change something here. They really do.
I mean, the thing that I'm kind of seeing a lot from the side of Silent is that they're just kind of struggling to deal with like a relatively disciplined operator lineup. Obviously, once they come down to that sort of 1 versus X situation, they get a bit greedy and they go for the pick. But realistically, they kind of know on the side of Silent, or they kind of know on the side of MG, that no one is a Palu on the side of Silent. So no one's allergic to being inside the building, no one's playing outside, baiting, trying to get them to, come for them in these like stupidly weird off angles on top of rooftops and whatever else. Instead, they're all just very much playing around this sort of like, get in the building, start doing a general sort of basic push, and then they just get dismantled by a disciplined roster that understands the reason for each of the operators that are being brought in the strat that they've kind of picked apart themselves by the looks of things from a T1 strat book.
I mean, some good strats to actually take here. I mean, to be able to play them at this kind of level as well is very good. To bring it onto console, I see a lot of PC strats being brought in as well, and I think it does make a difference. If they are played right. Sometimes it's too slow when setting up that defense, right? And that's where the attack can break through. But as we do start the attacking phase now, we'll start to see that, well, it is Malusi up in top of Big Tower once again, looking to try and find some quick picks as they do rotate themselves around the building. And looking like they're going for that armory side anyway to repel the armory. And oh, there we go. Beautiful. Eden to take down Pat, and an already opening kill will be part of that attack.
Indeed. And well, they're going to be hacking that Malusi gadget in order to deny the late round flank. Also taking that main cam in order to give themselves a bit of intel towards that area, so they have a bit of early information onto whether they're going to be going for that late round flank. Well, who needs a Malusi when you've got a bullet in her skull?
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, it seems that way, yeah. As already, Brava going to be opening up pretty much everything. Isn't able to hack that though, by the looks of it, because he's run out of hacks.
Run out of charges.
Oh, it'll be a C4 though, as Gold throws it up. We'll find 1. 3 versus 4, and they've still got to deny access into this. Like, they haven't got the wall open just yet, which does comfort them a little bit on this defense. We know that 1 is far back in that Big Tower side, and all of these attackers are just pushing from this master bedroom and walk-in closet area at the moment here.
yeah, the side of Silent really need this round. They need to be able to isolate these players, but it's it's relatively patient from the defenders. They have taken pretty aggressive positions, and some of them are taking a couple peeks. But realistically, there's a lot of sort of crossfire potential as per each of these players. If Ash tries to push the Wamai inside of Attic through the head holes, she's going to get swung on by the Jaeger above. If she tries to swing the Jaeger above, then she's going to get swung on by the Wamai on the Attic door. Now they've both stacked up, they've got themselves in positions to take engagements together, but the Jaeger's going to be falling off in towards tower, and Gold going to be just keeping himself quiet inside of the closet.
I think they may be alerted as he did shoot as they vaulted in, so they might have an idea. Yeah, they do. There it is. Atom finds Gold. The plant will go down, and a 1 versus 4.
Attackers are activating the
There you go. On the white stairs to take it taken down by Eden. And that will be the round as the defense falls apart and Silent able to break through.
Indeed, as we see Silent bring themselves to 1 away from this match point. So they have to be super clinical with the way they play this next attack. We are going to be going back to that upstairs.
Yeah, let's go. We've seen this moment again in Border, the game before that. Let's hope this time we do go to OT. Silent, can we go to OT? The pressure is on for both you and Ryuga right now. Who can win out the game? And if it will go any longer to that overtime match point as well, we'll see. Everything is in for this game. This final round could be the decider, really. Now on where we go with this matchup, and the Brava are going to be utilized once again, and I think it did work quite well. It managed to hack a good amount of utility, and to actually utilize a Brava and use all of its charge is very important. It just depends what you use it on, right?
Yeah.
If it's quite a useless pick, then you're not going to be able to use that Brava for final execute. We saw he ran out of Brava charge on the mute jammer. Probably shouldn't have hacked the Banshee on the stairs, maybe. We'll see.
I'd like to just ask our production, can we get a quick flick through our attackers to find out if anyone's wearing any skins, so if they win this round, there could be a protest? Because I really don't want to see that happening. But we are going to be seeing Bravo once again do pretty much the same thing. Obviously, the gadgets on the defensive side are going to... Okay, I got bullied by the other production, but either way. Yeah, we're seeing, like, once again, the Bravo do relatively the same thing, but the gadget's going to be a bit more conservative in the defense. They're going to be a bit more, positioned further back is the words I'm trying to find. And they're also bringing along the Legion, because, well, not hack Legion, because it's mechanical.
Pat with the impact!
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And then the pick! Atom to
the
fall.
opener, too.
I mean, it's great to see that the Ash goes off the board early. Exothermic charge will be opening up that breach. The impact streak does fail with 1 minute 50 on the clock. Drone's going to be shot and he will rotate himself off. Not going to be caught out by doing that. Very lucky to do so.
Yeah, they are going to be looking for this downstairs push. Looks like the Bravo are going to be the man to try, going to be the person to try and get themselves in below. But we are going to be seeing a bit of drone work go through. They know the Fenrir is inside the attic, and they know he's close to the bookshelf past the teams, so they're going to be paying a bit of attention towards that primarily. I want to try and clear someone out of one of these power positions in order to get them a bit deeper into the site, route themselves towards actually being able to kill one of these rounds. But the Yuko is the person to find the first kill on that outside window, managed to find an angle through onto the bookshelf where the Fenrir was hiding, for the quad kill for Pat so far. Could this be the first ace of the night, or just the third failed quad kill? As he goes for the swing, takes the engagement, gets a bit of damage, he gets stolen by Hydex. This is the third quad kill we've seen that hasn't successfully ended in an ace.
Wow, and yeah, no ace, sad face, yep. Oh my god, that's unfortunate.
Oh dear.
I mean, what a game from Hugo. We saw their defense is very strong, and a game to be very proud of watching. Unfortunately, Silent can take us to that OT that we all know and love, and we really, really wanted after that border game with Entropy, which ended 7-5, by the way. But yeah, I mean, let's move in to what we're going to have. I mean, first of all, how do you think that game went for Ryuga?
Pretty well. They played the defense very well, but then they kind of fumbled it a little bit when they tried to experiment. And I think that realistically, if they'd have tried to pivot with that Solace and keep it around, they could have probably, done a bit better. But they were more worried about the Solace actually being like actively countered, which it wasn't really. Rather than actually just like playing it out and giving it more of a crack. One thing I am noticing though is I noticed a trend. In match 1, the winning team had 3 people in double-digit kills. In match 2, we had 4 people in double-digit kills.
Wow. Okay.
So if the trend continues, in the next game, the winning team should have 5 people in double-digit kills.
You really like this little theory, don't you? I think it's proper cool.
Yeah, I make a lot of theories, and a lot of them are wrong. So,
but this one's right. So fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's quickly just talk about the next game for the night. And who are we playing? It says Les Ballistas versus AGM. I probably butcher that every single time. You let me know if I'm butchering it. I probably am. But yeah, stay tuned, because after the break, we will be going straight into this matchup, and I definitely can't wait. So guys, stay tuned. Go get some snacks, and we'll be back in just a moment.
They're going to be knocking at your door.
Hello and welcome back to ESA Cup. I'm It's TD and this is Nash. How's it going, Nash?
It's going well. We've seen what 2 7-5 games in a row.
Yeah. Will it be a third?
Yeah. More than likely.
Now, okay, here we go. So our next game is Lit Bolust versus AGM. I've been told exactly how to say it by the team reps. So there you go, guys. It's now my soundboard forever.
Le Bolust.
Le Bolust.
And we're probably still butchering it massively.
Yeah.
Because we don't have French accents. But we are going to be seeing these teams go toe-to-toe in a wonderful matchup. So we'll be just quickly looking at the staff predictions to see what, we have predicted for this match.
Wow, okay. So it looks like fairly even here. AGM's got 4 on that side, and then I'm not too sure on the other.
I think it's 5 and 6 in favor of AGM.
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, it's 5 and 5 actually. I'm lying. Oh
wow,
no,
okay.
Wait, it is 5 and 6, but it's in favor of Le Bolust.
Le Bolust. I mean, yeah, let's take a look at the community vote then. So that's pretty interesting. 50-50.
Ah.
Wow, we could
close
be on for
close.
Yeah, very close game here.
This will be the one that ends 7-1.
Oh, yeah. All the other games, 87% to 14. No, this one's 50-50. I mean, we'll see exactly how that goes. But first, we need to check on what map we'll be on. So let's have a look. Wow, okay. It is the Chalet Band first. That's crazy. And we're going back to Oregon. Oh, my God. Boregon. Boregon. It's Boregon. Yay.
So many people despise Oregon, and I think it's fine. Slowly, my opinion is being like changed or swayed, because it's like it is played a lot, but I still think Clubhouse is like my least favorite in the comp map pool because it's just played so unbelievably often, and it's also played more the same way than what Oregon is every single time.
Yeah, I think people hate on Oregon too much.
But yeah, the two teams going to be going toe-to-toe in this matchup. Very 50-50 in the predictions, and, well, we haven't seen that up to this point in the previous two matches, so with the last two matches going 7-5,
this is either going to be the one that goes to overtime or the one that ends 7-3 max.
Well, let's see exactly what Lit Ballist versus AGM can do. As we go into the banning phase, it's going to be an interesting banning phase. Probably not. Probably going to see something similar. Probably not going to see the Monty ban this time. Let's hope so. Let's hope it's on the board this time.
I'm gonna flat out predict right now. We see Ying, Dekebi, then we see Benre and Solace.
Okay.
It's gonna be entirely standard. Never mind. I have lied to you completely. I apologize. I would like to retract all of my analytical performances. You can shut down my Wikipedia page. I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, you're done.
This is done.
Get gone. This is a solo cast now, guys. As the final one, oh, you got Dope, right? So maybe not.
Maybe I'll get 3 or 4. Ying's still going to be on the board though. Ying, a stupidly oppressive operator on this map, one that we really didn't see utilized very, very well on the previous one. So, I think that this could be one of the maps where one of the games where we do actually see it come into fruition. Well, I've got 2 wrong so far, so it's not looking promising. I might have a 50% win rate, which would be pretty bang on with how the game's been predicted by both staff and both staff and the community. So it looks like I got 2 or 4.
Wow. Well, yeah, Solace on the board again. So will we see that Solace being utilized, or will it just be neglected like it was in points last game, but then it was also utilized before by MG? So we'll see exactly what we go with here. It is being put on the board. That's good. And the mirror is going to be accompanying it as well, because a mirror is enabled on this map this time. Do you think mirror is that impactful? Depends on which mirrors as well.
I think yes, and I think the mirrors they're probably going to go for are just the standard. Well, I was going to say like the freezer and closet mirrors, but it actually looks like they're going for neither of those, because well, the reinforcement on closet is the wrong way around, and I'm pretty sure I can guarantee they're going to go for the blue elbow mirror and also the blue door mirror, which is 2 mirrors that I'm not particularly a fan of, but they can be pretty effective.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Yeah, I would agree that the only way that, the bunker mirror would be effective is if that were my works. Because I just hate it's almost just rent-free like we've seen before in Borders game with some of those mirrors. If the utility there accompanies it and they do push that bunker side, then yes, it's going to be very useful. But it looks like we're already going to see that the Solace is going to be finding those drones in big. We'll rotate off. And yeah, we'll see exactly how this attack will change this momentum of the game. Will it be successful? We've got the Brava on the board as well. And so it can hack quite a few stuff, but that Solace also may limit the Brava's movements as well on the board. And going to see the gridlock for that flank denial as well.
Indeed. And well, something that caught me off guard at the beginning of this game is how quiet everything was, and then just gridlock screaming, changing mags. So, caught me off guard a little bit, but we are going to be seeing J9 just get pretty aggressive throughout this shower corridor here as he wants to try and get himself stapled into the actual map pretty quickly. And yeah, this is entirely just like a very bunkered up hold from these defenders, which is something that's relatively standard and what honoured the basement site of Oregon with that stupidly high defender win rate that it did have. Because, well, every team was just bunkering.
They've all been busy playing B-Wars, but as 1 minute 29 on the clock comes in, slowly pushing up this laundry stairs. Can we find any picks here? There are 2 defenders literally oblivious to this. The Solace just itching towards. Not going to find the pick, though. And Ash will get away. Oh, my God.
On a very narrow amount of HP there. Back down to half. Or put down to half as she is going to be able to find the slim angle through the hatch on towards the Solace as she tries to rotate back. Now, as the trade comes out onto the gridlock already placing down a few of those trap stingers is going to be effective in towards the later round. But the Ash is now unable to deal with the mirror windows in play.
Massive as Hockey finds one onto Nerd Sink. And now a 4 versus 2 here. AGM struggling to find their way into sight. Slowly pushing onto this laundry side and just really holding angles. But it will be Caesar to find Cayman. Or Kamer. And it will be now this 2 versus 3. Just holding angles onto the site with literally no time left. They know they must push. Can they do anything here? There's one to go down. Looking to Freezer to finish the round off. Buck will say no. Gun goes down. Shots from Mirror in the closet as he pushes straight up into Freezer. Through into sight to Laundry. That 2 versus 1 isn't going to do anything as Gun swings out and finds J9.
Indeed, manages to find the final 2 kills, one of which was already pre-injured. And as we know, that is going to make it a lot harder for these attackers going from that 2v3 to that 1v3, even if it is just the one that secured the entire difference as a whole. We now are going to be seeing, once again, a very sort of defensive lineup from, well, the defenders, ironically enough. It's one that I imagine is going to be, like, maybe a player up in Attic, but relatively close to the site. As a whole, I don't really imagine much of a roam game coming out of the side of Le Bouliste in the entirety of this match, by the looks of the way they're playing so far.
And it's interesting to see we're going for this meeting as well. Not going to opt to go to that top floor. And we're going to see the double reinforcement possibly coming up as well onto that attic side. To just pretty much defend as standard on Oregon. Make them go for both that top to bottom play. We've got the Flores on the board as well, which is interesting to be brought by Nerd, as well as a Thatcher. So a lot of utility clearing should be, in theory, done here by this Flores. We will see that the OSA once again being brought, and the attack commencing from this master side. So a little bit of something different, as we do find a pick from AGM. Ollie, it will be ads to go down. I mean, already pushing straight away for that roam clear option as well, and then pushing that OSA through the showers hallways. But we're looking really to push down this roam, but Guns. He will find J9. And now he gets to use the shields in his favor, as he will just try and re-peek, and he'll rotate himself off.
Yeah, falls himself off the angle in the end and decides to just go from the further away side, keeps himself a bit safe and keeps himself on right. Well, as we see Rafal just playing around inside of this kitchen area, moves into security as Castle barricaded off. There is going to be a lot of pressure from this Ram and Buck that are just hovering around, or not Buck, this Ram and Flores that are hovering around above, that are just blowing up in the ceiling and creating a lot of uncomfortability for these defenders.
Evil might as well flanking there, and he might be able to find another pick as Gun does take down Caesar. And the potential for this defense to deny any more access into this dining is massive. You got 2 people on that shower hall. There's another for Gun. They haven't learned their lesson. They keep pushing in. Nerd and Ollie left in a 2 versus 4 with 1 minute on the clock. They're going to continue to try and find this player inside of security. But, I mean, Gun just took no damage. He's in such a good position. Far back. And, well, there's not much he needs to do. There's another for him. A triple. Will be caught in the back, but it won't matter because he's taken down by Guns. Guns it. The Wamai. There it is. Beautiful. I mean, what a good, strong defensive round, sorry.
Yeah, Zert and Rafal just taking the round in their stead, having it all to themselves, and, well, making sure that there isn't a grand amount to do for these defenders. Obviously, they lost that opening pick, and, well, they were able to secure the round. And that's twice in a row now. Solace, the opening pick in round number 1, and then the Malusi being the opening pick in round 2.
question is, can AGM put a roadblock on Le Baliste and see if they can actually do anything with that attack? We'll see exactly what they have in store, as they will of course opt to bring in that Flores and that Thatcher on the board. We're going to see a Yana come into play, possibly, and an Ash and a Thermite. Whereas his defense will be running that standard Goyo pick that we've seen before, and a Wamai coming into play with a Frost Mute and a Warden.
I see two pretty insane predictions in the chat right now for Le Baliste to win this game 7-2 and 7-0, according to the two predictions that have been in the chat so far. And, well, if you want to make their predictions, keep doing it. It's a lot of fun to see who can actually be correct, who can, you know, predict some of these rounds and see how they're going to go, because, well, that's part of the fun of watching Siege as a whole.
Should have put some points on it, though.
Yeah, probably.
As we do move into the round, Hockey will go down, but it will be a Frost Mat to... You almost felt that one happening, right? You've got to have known that was there. I felt it when he repelled in. He definitely falls into that mat. 2 minutes on the clock. And, well, a 3 versus 5. Yeah, exactly what I was just about to say. J9 finds guns here. And, while the defense is slowly being torn apart here, and can they clutch up this round is the question. J9, low HP, and the positioning is not very good here from Le Baliste, as it will be AGM Ollie to find out guns. 5 versus 2, and, well, they're losing bodies like flies here.
Yeah, the two players unproven in this match as of yet, left alive in this kind of clutch situation, as they now have to try and take engagements against the players that are left remaining on their opposing side.
That would be the cross from the White Stairs to finish off the round. It's a flawless AGM saying no, we are not going to lose any more of these rounds. And there he goes. Le Baliste will fall to a flawless attack here. AGM slowly learning, and yeah, looking at that, just early picks coming out. The Frost will get an incredibly poor run out there, and we will see that. Well, it's going to be a tactical pause now.
Technical pause.
Technical pause. Sorry, I meant technical, not tactical. Could be a tactical pause. You never know.
Yeah, never know. But it's very discomforting to see a team manage to secure 3 opening picks in a row and only secure 1 round for themselves. It's one of those where you kind of get a bit unsure about the ability of these players to actually play against the French side. And, well, with the way the French side are playing right now, it looks a little bit like a 2-man army. So potentially, there could be a pretty big momentum shift after this round, but I am predicting more than likely we're going to see Le Baliste just continue a bit of a reign of terror coming into the remainder of this half, because at the moment, it's a little peculiar to see top floor be the tertiary for a team. And that's something that you don't really see often. There's some examples of it in Pro League with like Cafe, some teams favouring the reading site as a primary site and things like that. So it's very interesting to see that they're choosing to do a relatively similar thing with choosing the basement site first and the meeting site second.
And as we do have this technical pause, we will see exactly how this... a technical timeout. Yeah, okay. Tactical timeout. Okay. We'll see exactly how they do move throughout this game. Can we see something come before this role swap? Can we make it 2-2? Can AGM pull a few rounds from this defense and stop their reign of terror? Well, all to watch for. And we'll see exactly what goes on. Now, this is an interesting point to really pull a tactical timeout really here. Do you think it's the right time?
Well, it's going to be an attacker timeout. And it gives a bit of time for you guys to just discuss on the attacking side. Okay, we've seen their 3 primary sites. We've seen their full site rotation. They won the first 2, lost the final one. How are we going to win the first 2? Really sort of like set that in. Basic sort of plans of action coming into the 60 seconds that they do have, and then having a bit more of a defined plan of action for the site at hand. So they are going to be going into the basement this time, and you can probably predict that they're going to do a very similar thing, but this time around I imagine that the mirrors are going to be in a bit of a different place. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, you can see the mirror reinforcing it correctly this time, and probably going to stick it down. I mean, they didn't really need to even utilize that closet mirror the last attacking round that they played down there, because the Asher died, and well, that mirror wasn't even on the board anyway. And Mirror still managed to get a nice little pick there onto the Habana on the laundry side. So we'll see exactly how they can clear this if they do successfully manage to utilize the Ash once again, or utilize the Flores to push off any more utility here. Now, we have a lot of Guyos to clear up as well, so that'll be a lot of work for this utility lineup here. So as we move in to this big tower side, it looks like we might see an early contestment, as it will be the Warden playing up on those stairs. And we'll see that the bunker is also going to be a place that is being heavily fortified right now. 2 players just going to be sat in it, on one on elbow, one just playing close to the door.
Yeah, I'm very sort of not bothered, but like unsure as to why a lot of these teams aren't really playing or aren't really choosing to play that Charla mirror. For anyone who isn't aware of the call out Charla, it is essentially the little cubby next to the bomb towards the freezer wall. And you reinforce the wall next to that little cubby, and you place a mirror window on it. And that is referred to as like the Charla mirror, because it's a spot that was mainly played and coined by Charla from PSN. So we're looking at a lot of situations where teams are choosing really not to play that, even though it could definitely catch a few of these players off guard. Yes, you could argue that they're not really putting a lot of pressure onto Freezer in a few of these rounds, but realistically, I think there's more than enough reason if you're shutting down these pushes easy enough.
And with 1 minute on the clock, there is a 5 versus 5 situation still on the hand. Is the attack being very, very slow and methodical, or are they just being generally too slow? We'll see. They're clearing up these pillars now with a lot of flashbangs coming in. They're trying to locate exactly where these players are, and they know that, well, Wamai's kind of stuck. So can they counteract on that? The Guyos are wasting so much time, but it will be Guns to take down Caesar as he drops. Finds another. It will be Hockey to find J9. There we go. A 5 versus 3. And with 40 seconds left, this attack have to... Well, they have to do something here. Can they go down this big tower side? I'm not too sure. Will they opt to do that? They know exactly where this Wamai is, so we just can't really get it cleared. There's the frag coming in from Gun as Lee goes down. And 20 seconds, it is Hockey to find AGM Ollie and Nerd Sync to shoot Guns in the foot. Can't finish off the round here. Sat on the hatch, C4 misses. And with 11 seconds left and Diffuser in sight, it's pretty much a flawless round here for this defense. Never mind, Nerd finds one, Gun will fall. And there it is, the round for you, 3-1.
Operators, you have run out of time.
Just the defense delayed so much time there, and the attack just had no choice but to try and drop that hatch. I mean, they could have waited a little bit longer and forced a good execute, but it's just, they didn't do that.
Indeed, and well, as a team, it's a little questionable as we see that success rate for these tactical timeouts fall, because, well, it was a tactical timeout from AGM prior to that round and they lost. So clearly it hasn't really gone their way for the first time around, but this is the second site. And the problem with this being the second site for AGM is they've mentally prepared themselves for a meeting site. And they've probably got the operator lineup currently before switching J9 and Lazora onto the Thatcher and the Ace respectively. They probably had the operator lineup ready to take on towards meeting. So now they've got to push this upstairs, which yes, they were successful with before, but they weren't quite prepared to have to do. So now they're in a position where they've got the operator lineup, they know they've won it, they're going to try and play it the same way, and it's a matter of whether Rebels can adapt.
100%. We can see that they're expanding all the way across that top floor, all the way through bedroom, and they're playing that trophy side too. Will they be able to... well, I mean, last time they made a really big mistake with that run out. I'm hoping they don't do it again. See that there is one of those defenders playing that big tower side, and I mean, that's kind of like a big thing if you lose a man so early on from such a stupid thing. This time we are going to see that Flores drone. Oh my god, he's done it this time though. Hockey takes J9 down. I spoke too soon. Wow. That's the ace off the board. Still have a thermite though, and well, as we slowly get those Floreses in, getting as much utility as possible, those Banshees and shields will fall.
They will, and it becomes a little uncertain at this point as to whether the attackers are going to be able to find the point and drive through into the site. And, well, we're already a minute in, and they have no players inside of the building, full stop.
Oh, what a pick, though. Caesar! A brilliant pick there from the Thermite as he now opens up Master Wall into games. It will be 1 minute 30 onto the clock. Frost now rotating this attic side to try and contest, but it won't happen because he's being held on from this master bed side. The Flores driving straight into this games. We'll find the Banshee and utility there. Now it's walkable. They just need to try and deny any of these crossfires. And we can see that the Wamai just kind of sat in the middle of the storms, holding on to that walk-in closet. And we'll find those flames to fall. This time denial is so massive. The Flores just trying to find these Goyos as best as possible. And the Goyo's now going to be popped. It's going to still waste a lot of time. That fire just about to dissipate. We'll see that the Wamai gadget's going to catch those flashes, so they won't be able to go in the direction that they want. Trying to flush out those people in attic. Nerd going to take some damage here as Lee is going to get shot. Caesar takes one gun, takes down Nerd. And there we go. A 3 versus 3. Is there any room?
Moment
On site.
These players just have a bit of a bloodbath right now. The attackers have managed to find kills left, right, and center. The man in the attic dies, and well, that's the round over.
Yeah, I mean, just that attack's managed to force its way through. A very good pick there onto the trophy side, and we'll see exactly how it goes. There's one. Look at that. Beautiful from Caesar. And, I mean, just trying to push out that Frost. There it is. There's the pick as you flick into trophy. And, yeah, here we go. 3-2. Slowly picking up AGM. This is kind of a round that they need to win now to go 3-3 for that overtime roll swap. Sorry, not overtime roll swap. And it will be, of course, the castle being brought for this meet inside. And we'll see Malusi, the bandits, the Wamai, and the warden on the board.
You do well. And, I mean, at the moment, I just believe that, like, honestly, like, in this game it's fine, because Ying is available, and you can't risk not bringing the Warden, because the Ying is so oppressive. But, there's so many rounds, and so many times, that I see Warden brought for, like, seemingly no reason. Especially in the previous match, we saw Warden effectively every round for at least one of the teams. And that's not ideal, especially when you don't need it. You could be bringing someone else with a bit more of an active utility, a bit more fun utility, something that could actually contribute to your team a little more than just putting some glasses on and avoiding flashbangs.
Would you prefer the Frost then?
I think as a as a player, you've got a choice to make. It's like you can choose utility or you can choose gunmanship, and if you're choosing gunmanship, play Solace. And if you're choosing utility, you probably just play Solace. Like, there's a lot of, like, other operators you can choose from as well, but, like, a straight upgrade to Warden when Ying isn't available is going to be that Solace. But in this game, I guess it's fine because the Solace, or the Ying is available.
I mean, we are going to see Warden opting to bring a shield there as well. So obviously that does fit somewhere into their strat. But we'll see exactly how they do utilize this defense upstairs. Is slowly pushing on to these holding defenders here. As AGM, Ollie finds down, adds, it will be the Malusi to go down, and the Buck coming in to put some pressure now. And they do have a lot of control with this vert. They can establish more as that ram will start to open up the floor. And yeah, 1 minute 20 on the clock. It will be gun to sit on the freezer stairs, and it will be a similar situation to what we had before, as the exothermic charge does open up from dining side. And Yana now just trying to spot exactly where the kitchen players are. And I like the fact that they have booked open that security side now. Caesar finds gun, and there we go. This attack now being a bit more cohesive as J9 finds gun. Zert, it will be now shots fired onto Zulu, and J9 will find K-Man. Hockey in a 1v5. Plant gone down. C4 goes for the up top. We'll find one. Nerd Sync goes down, so that's C4. Swings on to one. Finds Caesar. Now just looking to Freezer. Not going to happen. J9 finishes off Hockey.
Indeed, and that's going to be the attackers equalising at 3-3. Once again, we've got a 3-3 game. And realistically, if AGM are able to play their defense right, then we could see another repeat of the 7-5 that we saw before, maybe even better.
The fact that AGM have definitely improved this attack, they thought about it. I think, you know, that tactical timeout has worked in some ways. They've spoke about this round in some way, and they know exactly what the plan is. They've managed to get some nice quick picks as well as they've gone for that vertical play, and I think they've got the control they need, and it's a good situation for them. But now, as we do go onto this defense, it's really important to see exactly what AGM have in the locker, and how will Leblis go for this attack. They've brought the Grim on the board. They've got a Brava. They've got a Flores. Very information denial and gathering orientated here, I'd say. We're going to see the Astra being swapped in maybe as well. And we'll come back to that as we do come. The Solace on the board, though.
10 seconds remaining.
Are we going to see quite a roam heavy kind of like setup? Similar to what we've seen with the BDS setup? I'm not too sure.
Well, when it comes down to the BDS setup, it's one of those where they play very much with like some of the hatches open, specifically the meeting hatch. The meeting hatch is one of those that they play with open in order to be able to fall off, similar to the way you play Flank, where you have the open area hatch open in order to drop yourself down onto the site when you need to, if you lose a man or two, or you find yourself an opening kill.
And already going to lose one to such an easy kill. Probably shouldn't have peeked that spot as they've gone for the bunker. They've baited open that door, and, well, Pixel has got the kill there. I mean, just such an easy kill that was not necessary. And now we're going to slowly push into the top of the back stairs. Two players just holding that big tower stairs. They got a Banshee to play off as well if they do get pushed further down. But this Brava is coming in, will be shot, and not going to be finding any success in that attack. 2 minutes on the clock, and a lot to do for this attack. Can we find anyone lurking around? Can we find anyone lacking? We will now push up in attic.
I'd like to bring attention to the positioning of these defenders. Everybody was on site. And now Ollie is going to be going in for this late round flank. He knows there's going to be a player over this side. He doesn't quite know where or how close. And it's going to be the Ram with the Super Shorty in hand. Ready, waiting for this man to take the swing onto the corner. I don't know if you can see the gun barrel across the doorway. But if he can, this could be a bit of a dead giveaway. He's looking around at the moment for where these players are positioned. Doesn't quite know about the player that's close. Tries to take the swing with a Super Shorty in hand. Isn't able to find it, but also deals more damage than is taken. Tries to swing with the SMG-11. and tries to run away in the end. Inevitably gets caught out by the
Attackers
pinch
bomb diffuser
that was
has
going to
been
come
dropped.
through, and that is going to be another defender to hit the fan.
And we will see Caesar get himself a nice little pick, but it will still be a 3 versus 4. The attack, though, still have to get that diffuser planted. They're going for that bunker side, and they've got to open that meeting hatch as well. With 47 seconds of time on this board, it will be J9 to take out Gun. There's one onto pillars. Nerd goes down. We'll find a brilliant swing, though, for Caesar, as ads will fall up on top of that big tower staircase. 31 seconds, and Hockey's hunting. His teammate falls to Caesar. 1v1 on site, possibly here. Can we find it? He is flashed.
Oh no!
Does that flash really last that long? He's just come off so unlucky. But it will be Caesar on the hatch. Diffuser has been caught, and now it will be onto supply for the plants. Dropping the hatch. C4 over the top. It's missed. Now he's got to find the kill. Is he hiding? He is. But he's been caught out! Hockey takes him down.
Oh no!
Look at that. The fact that he's ran through tarps, which is very loud in itself. Warden just not able to clutch up that round. Hasn't heard it. And there you go. What a pick, though. Look at that. Just straight onto his head. Just an early pick on the board, man.
Threading the needle.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
You see, the drop onto the hatch was kind of crazy. The Wamai had a pretty delayed reaction time, which was unfortunate. But we are going to be seeing the attackers actually bring themselves to a 4-3, which is not what I expected coming into the first round of AGM's defensive half.
Well, yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, obviously this was meant to be quite a close game in itself, right? Like, we are going to see ourselves now going to a rehost. But yeah, the community vote has said that they think it's going to be pretty close. And it does look a lot closer than I thought. A 3-3 split. Very close to that last round. You know, a 1v1, barely any time left. Diffuser couldn't be planted. They've gone for the kill. And unfortunately, not a very good situation for the Warden. Back's turned. It could have been anyone's in that round. So I'd say a lot closer on that sort of sense. But tactically, is it as close as you'd think?
I mean, generally on the previous half, yes. I think it could have been a bit more one-sided if the teams were able to establish a bit more footing in the game first. Like something that we definitely saw from the final attack that AGM had was the fact that they needed to go faster and they needed to open up that security vertical in order to stop anyone from being able to play in that for the plant, and also be able to get more sort of established positioning inside of the upstairs of the building.
Right, so we will be jumping onto a bit of a break now because this rehost may take a little bit of time. We'll see exactly how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as we think, but yeah, we'll jump into a bit of a break, guys.
Many bombs as they can.
Okay, we're going to jump straight back in to this game for free after a little bit of a rehost here. Apparently servers aren't doing too well. That's all good though, as we now move our way down to the basement site. Let's see exactly what goes on here. We're looking to replay most of the same operating lineup as before. And yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. We're going down to the basement. They're going to be playing with the hatch closed on the side of AGM in order to, you know, mitigate pressure as best they can and see if they can play it a little differently. They're aware of the locations of a few of these drones, and well, that's a waste of an impact because he hasn't actually managed to find the location. Even though that's literally what his gadget does.
I mean, Solis now going to rotate himself off. The drone's going to chase after him, and Solis will probably shoot those drones soon. That's kind of how the cycle goes. we probably do need to try and find that Solace at some point and deny, because we have seen it's tried its flank, and it did get caught out pretty quickly, though, the last time it did that flank. So the attack may be very aware and may be ready for it in some ways.
Indeed, as now we are going to be looking at a bit of an aggressive take from Ads over towards the shower side, wanting to try and get himself in deep, but Rafal is also putting down these air jabs on towards the side doors, trying to keep himself a little bit safe, as Warden going to be wanting to try and take it through off of these stairs. Is going to be getting quite aggressive with this shotgun in hand, he isn't able to find it, and instead gets some fire back. Doesn't quite take any damage from the swing, but is still going to be scared off a little bit, playing a little more conservatively on the stairs. Doesn't want to lose his life too early, as AGM has struggled with in the previous round.
See some shots through the kitchen wall as Solace now just come to open it up. We'll see. Oh, it's Lifer, and then it will be Nomad to finish it up. Nice, clean, and well executed. Ollie caught off guard by that Slifer opening up. And yeah, boom. 1 minute 20 on the clock, and we'll jump straight in as the execute is looking pretty strong. If they can push down this backstairs, Flash is coming out, but it doesn't matter because Warden's in a great position here. Nomad to finish it up, though, as it goes with the air jab on the floor. Caesar goes down, a 3 versus 5, and we're opening up that hatch as well. And the Habana pellets will be destroyed there, too, to deny any pressure onto his teammate. This mirror coming in pretty handy as well in a good situation. There will be J9 to find guns. And there's one more sat inside of the bunker. We'll drop the hatch, and now he's in a bit of a bad situation. We'll be blown up, but we'll find another frag coming in. Nerd to take out Gun. And now 30 seconds on the clock. Well, it's a 2v2. We now push in through this pillar's side. Doubling up by the looks of it here. One inside of Freezer. The other one just behind that mirror. Just looking into the B site. Can they stop him? No, it's not going to happen. As Lee will find one. K will try. But he's hiding behind that mirror by the looks.
10 seconds
Mirror,
to go.
gonna alert. Gonna pop it, gonna swing. There's a pick though for Lee. As he's just ready for it.
Yeah, beautiful little corner play there by him. Manages to get the pre-fire there. A little better than his counterpart that takes the swing, and well, that's going to equalise us at 4-4.
Wow, what a close game it's been. And I mean, what else could you ask for here, guys? As we jump in to kids in bedroom now.
Defuse as many bombs as they can.
Yeah, we might be looking at a little bit of a mirror match as well. If the next round is won by the defense and then traded back by the offense on the next go around, and then they both trade around either way again, we could be seeing a complete mirror match as to what we saw in the previous half, and also, well, overtime.
Let's go! We need to see that overtime. It's been teasing us all night, and 7-5 after 7-5 after... we'll see exactly what happens in this
Protest
one.
after 7-5.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Protest after 7-5.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
Still crying over that one. But we jump in to the round now with the composition on the board. Nerd deciding to play that Valkyrie. And we're not actually going to be utilizing any IQ to deal with that, which is fine. But we'll see exactly how they can, of course, play off a disadvantage with those Valkyrie cams, sorry. So it will be a quick propel straight in to that armory for the Nomads, and we'll put those jabs on for the rotate denial of any flanks. Solace, I mean, having the Solace upstairs will be very good just to deny any quick access drones through that master side as well. We'll see that the Vulcan shields, sorry, the Vulcan shield, that's really old, as the Vulcan canisters are on the wall inside of walk-in.
Indeed, as now they're going to be opening up the breach. They
Electrosensor on.
do have a Goya canister on that side, and they don't want to be dealing with it straight away, but the EMP gadget just catches Solace and destroys the visor for a little while, as she's now not going to be able to use that.
Drones coming in through this attic, as the mute jammer will just about catch it after being reactivated there. Ram jumping in with the Flores. Straight into attic, and didn't really need to get too much on that control side. Flash is coming in for the attic rotate. Now trying to find one towards the A bomb. We know that if someone is playing below, though, is Flores peeking out, as we'll take some damage to that fire that's been dropped. Another flashbang going through the rotate. Can they push their way through into this site here? Do they have enough control? We'll see in just a moment, as it looks like the Thermite is getting ready to jump in to the spot for a plant. Can they do it is the question. We know where these attackers are. Lee. Adams will find Lee. There's the refrag on the board here. Ram's going to go across the floor to try and drown out the sound. It'll be a Flores as well. Can we deny the swing? It's the plan to go down. The refrag in. 3 versus 3 as Guns takes Caesar. And here we go. As there's another one to come in. J9. Gonna go down here. Nerds, 1 versus 3. Attack have pretty much kicked him out of sight. And to finish off the round, Guns it will find Nerds off of white.
Yeah, and that's going to be Lebalist. Actually managing to get themselves to an advantage. Bringing themselves further forward into this matchup and realistically putting them one away from this match point. So we are going to be seeing a very confident style of play from AGM that isn't really working for them at this point. We are seeing some pretty effective trade game in a few of these rounds, and even towards the earlier portion of that round we saw some pretty effective trading. But overall, we end up with well, a Lebalist win.
And I mean, if they can continue, yes. I mean, exactly what we said. Just expecting such a strong attack on this board now, and we'll see. On the board, we do see the Valkyrie being pretty much the same composition as before. Going up here again, just they managed to force their way through this attic, and that's something that no one was really watching. And it's interesting that they just jumped straight through the window, had that information on all those drones straight in through that attic side. Boom, we've got control of attic. And from there, while the attack just managed to get so much there, but a TK coming off on the board. That's our first of the night. Hockey goes down. I'm not too sure what's gone on there, but it's fine. Flank denial gone, I guess.
Yeah, bit unfortunate. It's not one of those that you really want to see.
Was he wearing the wrong skin, a band skin, or is it generally just a TK? Yeah, that's crazy. Who knows? But ready and prepping any runouts here. AGM Ollie is on the big tower side. It will be the Thermite, though, to get straight into walk-in. Opens up the breach. No one's really there to contest off the trophy. Caesar does take a little bit of damage here, and he's going to mute jammer the corridor. Interesting, to stop anyone following him with that drone, by the looks of it. Has to be shot if he does want to be found. J9, though, going to take a little bit of damage here from the rappel onto games. 1 minute 51, and it will be Ollie kind of just sat in this split area looking to find anyone who may be caught lacking on their drones as well. He can utilize his gadget, and there is one person on the angle. Oh my god, it's Guns it to find the pick. Just waiting there, just waiting for a flank. I mean, fair enough, good way to do it.
Yeah, 2 kills so far for the Brava in this round, one of which on the teammate. And now we're going to be looking for a little more towards the side of Lebalist if they want to come out of this match with a win.
And Zorxa does go down. It will be the IQ to find him. One on rappel, though. Can we find that for J9? I'm not too sure if he's fully aware of what side of that rappel he's on. He might be able to find one here in kitchen. Let's see. Down goes Nerds. And Gunzert will find him. And Gun Foul finds another. Caesar refrags. C4 below. Oh my god. So much damage, but doesn't find the connection. And it will be IQ. Still alive here on side of that site. Plan down. There's the refrag. Kamer. And Caesar will fall.
Yeah, very well played from the attackers there. something that they definitely took advantage of was the fact that they knew there was verticality involved. They knew there was going to be a player below with the C4. They didn't quite know of what information they had, so what they did was they planted on the hard floor, which is the only piece of hard floor inside of that site.
Attackers activating diffuser.
I mean, it was very smart as well. I mean, the fact that we even saw them waiting downstairs for that solace, which is good. That denied one of the plant denials. And then, yes, you can see that that mute did miss. But it's fine as we jump down to basement now for potentially the last round of the night. We will see exactly what goes down. We are bringing the Warden, the Mute, the Cade, the Malusi, and the Mirror on the board, and it looks like this attack is opting to bring a Blitz. Will we see this work? I'm not too sure. We've seen the Blitz being brought a couple of times. I'm hoping to see a good round out of this attack, but we still want to go to OT, so come on, defense.
5 seconds remaining.
Jesus, now we are going to be looking at
Attackers
this
objective is to
potential
locate a bomb and
final
defuse it.
round from these players. Seeing the Blitz, something that a lot of people seem to be unaware of is why he has his shield on his back. Now, they are unaware of the enemy team, whether they have a solace or not. If the Blitz has his shield in front of him, you can see it with the solace scanner. If he doesn't, he cannot. So at the moment he has it on his back, he's probably going to be walking towards the door in order to get himself a bit closer and then using his drones to give himself a bit of information as towards what gadgetry he's going to be trying to deal with in order to get himself through in towards Elbow. And then the Flores is there to clear out any of that utility for him to actually be able to, do his thing.
I mean, it could be dangerous. We'll see if that Blitz does survive, but it will be guns just to rotate this kitchen side and looking to deal with some of those mute jammers in the process and get that hatch open. We don't really have the utility, though, to deal with a Cade right now, as that Brava's literally the only thing that could do anything right now with it. He's got to get through a mute jammer as well, so crazy. The Nomad jab will go for that flank denial, and we'll shut off the double door rotate there through laundry. But it will be Caesar to pop up and find one. Flores goes down. C4 in hands, rotates back up the stairs. We'll possibly try and chase, but it will be the a rotate offer there by the looks of it. 1 minute 20 on the clock, and 5 strong on this site as we rotate to bunker with the Blitz now in hands. Oh, he's gonna lose something there. Flash comes in, chase throughout the whole site, but he's dealt with instantly. Caesar and Nerd line him up. There's a frag onto Caesar, but now this 4 versus 1 and Le Ballistis. Wow, AGM just in a good position to defend this. They don't need to play aggressive, but it will be Ollie to go down and J9 to finish up.
Yeah, the TCSG, the beautiful little slug shotgun, is going to be there to quickly just put down the final player of Le Ballistis in that round. So we're now at 6-5. Once again, 1 round away from the fabled overtime and 1 round away from 7-5.
Wow,
See
I
if
mean,
we can
everyone,
actually make it all the way this time.
every single time we've had this round, all night, consecutive, 6-5. And let's just hope it doesn't go to that 7-5 that we've been seeing all night. I just don't want it to do that tonight. I'm hoping AGM have it in their locker to pull forward. I think they do. They've got good players on their roster. But we'll see exactly how that works as the attack now will bring in that Thatcher, the Brava, the Grim, the Thermite, and the Nomad. As the defensive lineup doesn't decide to change as much, as we will see that Nerd is constantly going to be bringing that Valkyrie for that information, and I do quite like that being in the lineup in itself. Warden is going to be brought upstairs, which is okay. We'll just depends on how it's going to be utilized and if it is bringing the right utility on the board. We'll see as we start into this round. And I mean, what are you expecting for this quick round here, for this final round?
Well, I mean, realistically, looking at a kid's bedroom site, more than likely I'm going to be looking for a bit of a assertive sort of early round from these attackers, because realistically, if we see a bit of a stagnation early on, it could very well translate through into the round. But they're opting away from the Solace on the defending side this time in favor of the Valkyrie, going away from the
Device ready.
informational, or going away from the informational utility focused around getting information on utility to informational utility that gets information on where the push is coming from, where the players are situated.
Perfect. And I mean, let's see exactly how they do. If they do actually do exactly what you've said here. And we've got those drones coming in to trophy side now. Going to lose a couple on that economy, as only 2 have been eliminated by the looks of it here. And we're going to be using those hard breach gadgets to try and put down some line of sight denial here. Are they? Oh, guns! J9 dies from his own holes. He's utilizing to trick there. What
That's
a good
the
little
assertion
pick.
I'm talking about.
Wow. 1 minute 25 on the clock, and this attack can now freely open up that Waller's gun is sat on this flank. What again? He's just sat in garage waiting for someone to rotate. I mean, talk about dedication. The entire round, he has just been sat there, no drone or anything, just waiting. Hockey gonna take some damage here though as he chops back out of attic. It will be ads to find nerds. And there's one coming from dorms though as Lee Zorxa fights back. Here we go. 3 versus 4. 50 seconds on the clock. Flash is coming out on pretty much everyone here. I can't see anything, but it will be Caesar to find Hockey. On the repel of games, though, Caesar just backing off. Not going to try and take that fight. He knows he has to push in, and he doesn't need to give himself up.
Yeah, Caesar sees you from the corner there, as we are going to be seeing the attackers in this 3v3 situation look to try and make their way through, clear out a few of these positions in order to get themselves a bit more well situated. As they have managed to trade both ways, there is going to be injure on the defense, and they have to be able to find this final kill on the defense if they're going to be able to bring it through onto the overtime, and that's going to be Ollie to find both. And we are finally going to overtime, as long as we don't get a protest.
Let's go! Now, you watch, someone's got banned skin. No.
The flashbangs lasted too long. My production shouted at me. I'm now grounded. I'm being sent to Voltage League jail instead.
Whoa. That's an attack on voltage. Alright, we're going to jump in to our first round of the night in overtime. Thank God for that. Thank you for AGM and Lebleast for blessing us with this overtime. Still not sure if I'm saying that right, by the way. But we're going to jump in with this basement. And we've got the Cade on the board. Last time we did struggle with dealing with that Cade, so we're going to see that the Thatcher is definitely 100% going to be stuck there. And the Brava just also struggled with those mute jammers. So we'll see if that does pose any issues at this point in time. And no Solace on the board anymore. Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's a good pick? It's kind of a good trade-off?
I mean, yeah. It's fine. I mean, they didn't really play it. This seems a bit rude, but they didn't really play it well when they did play it. They weren't able to keep it alive. It may not have been the player's fault that was playing it, but it wasn't utilized as well as it could have been. So
I think they've definitely swapped it off for similar reasons to that, maybe because he was constantly getting pinched in that kitchen, and they maybe realized, oh, well, you're not playing it right. Maybe, but it's also like the lack of a backup plan is something that you need to be aware of as a roamer, and that's something that people don't often consider, because the backup plan should always be a plan that preserves your life, or attempts to preserve your life, because preserving your life is ultra giga important in this game. Since the rehost, we have played 5 rounds, and Hockey has still found 0 kills. I mean, can't blame a man for trying, but unfortunate.
But it is unfortunate.
We'll see now with the hatch getting open. The K trick just about fails as the Thatcher EMP catches it, but we know that someone is definitely playing that big tower staircase. He's going to be pushing himself off, though. Might get caught out on his pillars, and so he will be shot in the leg. Ollie rotating himself off. 1 minute 25 on the clock here as the Bravas will jump through. Will just fail to shoot it. C4 in hand and ready.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
It's about missing that opportunity there for Ash. With just watching that angle slowly. He keeps trying to re-peek it. Warden might get punished here. We'll see very slowly. As it will be gun to find J9. The Cade goes down. Flash is coming in to that elbow. Can play behind the mirror as Ads finds Caesar. Now 3 versus 5. This attack really being strong. And Sorxa just sat very close to that supply. Hockey will find Ollie. And here we go. 40 seconds. C4 missed. He's going to have to try and re-pick it up. And the plank goes down. Ash in pillars. Sorxa missing a shot onto Ash. Now kind of stuck. The glass on the mirror broken. Nerds will go down. Left to be swung by Ads. And Sorxa will fall.
Well, that's the French finding a flawless round very early in this first defense. Or in this first round of overtime, sorry. Their first attack. So they are going to be looking to try and translate that onto the defense, and realistically this is the favoured half for them. If they're able to find this quick win very, very easily, it's going to end at an 8-6. And realistically, there's no points involved other than like your round difference. But as long as you stay away from that relegation, you shouldn't be too bullied by anything at all. So you should be completely fine.
So max OT is probably the best option for these two teams now, right?
Yeah, because realistically, in this game, score doesn't matter to the extent of like, oh, one team's going to be relegated on round difference.
Brilliant. So we'll see now, potentially 2 rounds left of overtime for you guys here, as 7-6 to Les Police.
10 seconds left.
We'll see exactly what AGM can do with their attack now.
5 seconds
We're
left.
opting to see a Sledge, a Thatcher, a Ying, a Twitch, and a Flores on the boards. Any clue as to what we're going to be going for here? We've got car breaches on the Ying, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we are just seeing the Ying on Caesar there. And I think this is an operator that realistically could be a bit of a waste if not used correctly. You have this Warden on side and you need to get him dealt with if you're going to be able to actually utilize the Ying in question. I don't know about the Sledge pick, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yeah, there's no like castle or anything on side, so it's not like you need the hammer to be able to just like pop open a barricade. Realistically, Buck is just a better option.
I mean, yeah, we'll see exactly how this goes then with that Sledge pick, and it will be now Ollie to drone out that laundry side, and it will be just Sorxa watching the 2 hallways in between, waiting for that execute to come up. But we've got plenty of time in this game, and we'll see exactly how this goes through. Flores drone going to be exploded there. We'll take out the deployable camera there as well. And we'll see Ying Candela's coming in now. They're not really doing too much, though, is the thing. Warden in a good position just to deal with that if it does happen. But a pick onto Ollie. Hello. Beautiful from through the mirror. This Candela's coming in, but they're not doing a thing. But it will be Zorxa to find Hockey. Finds the crossfire from within sight. Goyo will swing. Finds another. That's a triple for Ads. And a 3v1 as, well, Caesar is left to clutch up. If he can't do it, then that's the game for him. And here we go. Through the bunker side, we go behind the barrels. Slowly edging forward. Will he be caught out? Going for the Candela. Warden is dead. He's not gonna go off of that Candela though. He's gonna rotate straight away to this pillar side. Pushes in through sight. They don't really play aggressive on him right here. Caesar takes damage from 2 angles and waiting for the freezer swing as there's a 4K. And ads will clean up the game here. Caesar goes down.
And that is an 8-6 victory in favour of the French.
Wow.
What a match.
Lit Voliste. Let's go.
Only 14 rounds, not 15, which is unfortunate. We hope for more, but either way, a very fun match, to say the least. And I think that this is going to be something that is going to really prove the sort of stature of these two teams in, well, the future of this tournament as a whole.
Yeah, I feel like that final round was kind of wasted with the operation lineup, but yeah, it was unfortunate, and what a good game it was nevertheless going to that overtime. AGM definitely tried to fight back, and, well, I mean, it sometimes happens, you know, they just couldn't go all the way, and they missed out on a big opportunity to try and take that game. But yeah, Nash, it's been amazing. What have we got in store for our next few games then?
Well, coming up next time on the ESA schedule is going to be Crown Zero versus Cosma in a best of 3 for relegation. One team moves forward, one team goes on the, well, theoretical bus ride home, as Whiskey Glitter likes to say. So we are going to be seeing some potential blood, sweat, and tears go into that matchup, and I think everyone should be getting excited for, well, Cosma to either make a return or Crown Zero to really state their name. So we'll have to wait and see.
And we'll take a little look at the standings, Nash. What is going on here for those people at home that don't really understand it?
Well, this is the Swiss system. It's a bit of a chemically altered Swiss system, but it's a Swiss system. And it, as you can see, we have the teams that are going through these stages. Now, easiest way to explain it is the numbers that are listed above each column of matchups is the amount of times they have either won on the left or lost on the right. So, for example, at the top, we can see that there is a 3-0 on the top right. And that is the 3 teams that have made it through, winning 3 games in a row without failing. And once you win 3 games, you go through to the next phase. Once you lose 3 games, you get relegated. Now, the thing we have going on in the sort of upper bracket, quotation marks, for this Swiss system is there's 9 teams. And I'm not completely sure which team is going to get this treatment, but unfortunately, the team, it's not known yet, according to production. The team that ends up against the team that's no longer competing will end up with a bye, which is unfortunate, as we will be missing out on a game, but that also means that we don't have this weird little mid-match anymore that decides someone going through and someone, well, or someone going through to the upper bracket and someone going through to the lower bracket, I think it was. I can't quite remember. But either way, that is pretty much what we've got on the standings so far. None of the actual matches in the upper bracket or lower bracket are like fully determined as of yet, but they are the teams that have made it through so far, and they will be decided where they will end up a little later on.
Wow. Brilliant rundown of this bracket there, and definitely gives some people an insight, hopefully, to exactly what's going on within ESA Cup. And, I mean, it's been an incredible game tonight. Anything else from you, Nash?
Well, there is something that I have liked to bring into ESA, and that's giving ourselves shout-outs. And I've kind of just beaten a dead horse here, but I have a YouTube video that explains the European pro scene at the moment. basically what's happened in the last year of Siege in the EU, because we've had a bit of a dry year. So I thought I'd make a video on it, speak about it. It's 30 minutes long, and it's relatively informative. Goes through all the majors that we saw between the stage 1 of EUL last year and now, and also obviously now we've got the stages underway, so that's pretty fun. If you want to see more of me, you'll see me at twitch.tv/Naj. I don't really post on Twitter, but it's Naji_, so NHAAJIE_. If you want to follow me on there. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Any quick shout outs from you, TD?
Oh, I guess I'll have to. Go find me on Twitter. It's TD_esports. I'll try and post more, but you know, it's just games that happen with ESA and any other big leagues within the console or PC scene. But yeah, brilliant, Ash. Thank you for being my co-caster/caster today. It's been amazing.
It has been. I've very much enjoyed it. It's it's been a lot of fun. I hope everyone that was watching enjoyed the games, and well, I guess we will see you on the flip side.